NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Live from the Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street, Suite 101, Phoenix, Arizona. This is Real Hockey Talk, and we are on NBC Sports Radio, KDUS, AM 1060. I'm Dave Isaac alongside Greg and Ed Smith, former NFL player, Atlanta Falcons, and he is, as always, wearing a Super Bowl ring.
Just for you, Dave.
I know, I love that. I just can't get over that. I mean, it's very few ever will get a Super Bowl ring.
Well, you know, I was thinking about this earlier. I belong to such a small fraternity. I love this time of year because, you know, we're in the playoffs as far as the NFL goes, and brings back a lot of great memories for me. One sad one, obviously, with us losing the big game, but, you know, as far as getting to the dance, it was a great ride. It was so
very
much fun.
few. I mean, famous people. I mean, you know, people that have been there forever never get to the big dance.
Yeah,
right?
there were guys who played a lot longer than I did and never experienced it.
It's not a easy road, but we are in the middle of the playoffs. Good games today.
Yes.
What do we got on tap? We have Miami and...
No, we got Seattle and Atlanta.
Right. Yeah.
They're the early game today, and then we go from there to Houston is visiting New England.
Good luck for Houston.
Good luck for Houston.
Not going to be, out of all the games, that's going to be maybe the one that...
But you know what? Those are the ones that sometimes surprise you. I think it's a 16-point spread, and, you know, that's a huge number. That people don't realize how huge that number is. And
that is.
Houston, they get paid just like the Patriots do, and they're gonna show up whether they have enough talent to, you know, stay in the game and keep it close. I think that's what most people are wondering. Now, I don't think anybody's picking them to win.
No.
You know, the question is, can they cover?
Well, I think the other big difference is Houston are not experts at the Deflate Gate.
No.
The Deflate Gate. Anyway, I don't think we'll see that again. I think they learned their lesson. Maybe not. You said you know all the stuff going on when you played. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, until you get caught, you're probably a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week. The old saying is, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So,
hey, yeah, I heard that. I actually heard it in a movie too.
Yeah,
I heard it twice.
It's a common term. I've heard it a few times.
That is too funny, actually. And anyway, so a lot of good games. So Seattle, who are you going to pick on that?
Honestly, I have to go Atlanta at home. And especially because Seattle is their Jekyll and Hyde on the road. They play so well at home in Seattle. Then they get on the road and they turn into a different team. Their offense sputters a lot. And in my opinion, to win that game against Atlanta, I think Atlanta averaged 35 points a game at home this year. So, you know, I know Seattle could probably slow that train a little bit, but in order for Seattle to win that game, I'm thinking they're going to have to probably be somewhere in the 24 to 27 point range. And for whatever reason, like I said, their offense has just been horrible on the road this year.
Yeah, it's been tough. Of course, Russell Wilson, you never know.
You never know.
You know, but you're right. I mean, Atlanta, I think slightly a better record than Seattle this year. And home field does make a big difference.
Yes, definitely in the playoffs.
And then New England, I think we're both picking. That's an easy one, or easier one. And then tomorrow we have what?
Kansas City and Pittsburgh. That's the late game. That's going to be I think that's a good
game.
Yeah. Well, so is the earlier one too. With Dallas is being visited by Green Bay. That's going to be a good game as well. Tomorrow, both games I think are going to be A1.
Those are really good games, and I'm glad it's a Sunday. And you're probably glad it's a Sunday, so you can watch. Coast to coast.
I'm going to have whatever was on the menu that day will be hot and ready to go, and I'll be settled in. You know, maybe.
How were you got rib tips last week from Lucille's?
Very
How
good.
was that?
Oh my goodness, I ate on those for a couple of days, but they were especially good.
It's really
when
good.
I got them home that evening. Oh, delicious.
Man,
delicious.
Every time I see Lucille's, I start singing the song. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. At first, I thought the lyrics was, with 400 children. It's actually 4 hungry children. I said, 400 children? How is that possible? But anyway, that's a good song. But I've been to that restaurant. Really good. We were, of course, at Dave & Buster's last time, too. But we're at Kona Grill. This is such a great place, I got to tell you. I've had some, I think it's called the macadamian chicken, I believe. I mean, this is outstanding, the Kona Grill. There's several of them, I believe, in the Valley. We're here live on High Street, 5310 East High Street. It used to be called City North, I believe, but I think they changed it to High Street. And it's really it's near the House of Comedy. We're going to be giving away 4-packs of House of Comedy tickets that people can win with the big spin. We have the little spinning deal here, the wheel.
I see.
And people can enjoy that, winning some 4-packs of tickets to the House of Comedy. Rick Bronson, great guy. We know him, owner, and he has other locations as well. So this is going to be fun. So and Greg will be joining us soon to talk real hockey talk. But in the meantime, you didn't make your picks yet for Sunday. So Pittsburgh, Kansas City. I believe it's at Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they moved that game to a later game because of the sleet that was coming through. They had a bad storm coming through early, so they moved that from a 1 o'clock start to an 8 o'clock start Eastern time. And I can attest, Kansas City is one of the toughest places to play as far as visiting team coming.
I heard about
coming
that.
in.
Yeah. Arrowhead Stadium. Right?
Arrowhead. The noise they create and that home field advantage. So, it's going to be tough for Pittsburgh to go in there. I give Pittsburgh the edge because of their offense, though. Big Ben.
He's done really well.
Bell, and they score. And the one thing that I'm hesitant about as far as Kansas City is with Alex Smith, great quarterback, very good quarterback.
Yes.
He's very conservative, though. And if Pittsburgh jumps out to a lead, Kansas City is not what I would call the greatest team in terms of, scoring quick and scoring in bunches.
Right.
So, but on the flip side, if Kansas City keeps it close, I give them the edge. But if I had to make a pick, I'm going against the grain, probably going to pick Pittsburgh.
Wow, but Big Ben at the end can really get the job done when it's a couple minutes left in the game.
Yeah, you can never count them out.
Tremendous.
That offense is just something else.
And then who's the other, the other two teams?
Green Bay and Dallas.
Oh, wow.
That's
now,
a doozy.
That should be interesting. I really enjoy Green Bay. My oldest daughter and her husband love Dallas, or he's from Dallas.
Okay.
So I'm sort of torn, but I think an upset is in the making.
I'm with you. I've never been a Dallas fan, so I'm not necessarily rooting for them. But this is the playoffs are all about who gets hot. And Green Bay, there's nobody hotter than they are right now.
And Aaron Rodgers, how do you go against that guy?
Yeah, they won their last 6 regular season games. They just dusted off the Giants in the first round, in the divisional round, or wild card round, we should say. And nobody's playing better than them.
Yeah, so who are you picking? Oh, Green Bay, you said.
It's hard for me to not pick Green Bay. Nothing against Dallas. They've had a great year, but, you got a rookie running back, rookie quarterback.
Who played phenomenal this year.
Yeah, they played phenomenal. Yeah. The thing is, the playoffs are an entirely different beast.
Yeah.
And everything you think it can't pick up a notch, but it does.
And the pressure picks up a notch.
It's win or go home. And
you don't think they'll put Tony Romo in, do they? One interception.
If they did that, I would actually, the next time I'm in Dallas, I would boycott. I would actually have a sign and I would protest outside the stadium.
That would be not fair to the young rookie who has played so well.
Absolutely not.
And but you never know with their owner, right? You just don't know.
Can't call it.
Yeah. And there's Craig, I believe, in the studio, Kona Grill. Come on down. No, really, come on down. 5310 East High Street, right on the corner here on the, what is this, the west corner. Not far from the House of Comedy, actually.
Yeah, that's great over here. It's the first time I've been to this Kona Grill. I've been to the Scottsdale Fashion Square location. It's been years, but I remember some of the best food. You can have a little of everything, but the sushi is outstanding.
Yeah. It's tremendous food. I've been to the Chandler one. Oh, well, actually the Scottsdale one, too.
Oh, okay.
And I've been to this one. This is such a nice design here, though. I really love it. Really open. Right behind Ed is this big screen. I think they said it was 93 inches or something.
Oh, okay.
And that's huge. And they have a bigger one on the patio, I believe. And so it's really a nice place to come down. So we're here till 4, and they're open probably till 10 or so.
93 inches is also the size of Donald Trump's hands.
Yeah, Donald Trump, yes. Boy, he's, we're not political, but boy, it's going to be interesting on Friday, let's put it that way. inauguration, but we'll see. So Real Hockey Talk is right now, and actually we have some pretty interesting guests coming in on calling, and 3 o'clock is live here at the Kona Grill, who's performing live later at the House of Comedy, Ruben Paul, a great comedian. So he'll be here, and then we got an upcoming superstar singer for a song or so.
Yeah, Callie Young.
Later. Yeah, at 3:45 or so.
Yeah, she'll sing 1 or 2 original songs and talk about she's going to NAMM, the big music thing out in Anaheim.
Wow.
And she's going to be singing there for a couple days throughout the weekend there. So good stuff coming up.
So
a lot of good local music out here.
Oh, yeah. So we're a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, meaning a lot of sports, but a little entertainment. And
no country at all.
Yeah. Oh, I love country music. Don't you like?
I got some country on the iPod.
Did he pay you?
No. Now, I will say I like old country. I don't like the new stuff.
Yeah, I like the old country, too. The way back of Willie Nelson and
Oak Ridge Boys.
Oh, yeah. Johnny Cash, right? Mm-hmm. I listen to that all the time.
Well, he's the one I've heard of, so yeah.
Oh, he was, legend.
Wait, Kayla, your thoughts on country?
It's not my favorite.
Oh, good. See, 2 to 2.
Oh, yeah, see, he wanted to tie it up, didn't he?
So we tied it.
And he did tie it up. Very cool. So, the Coyotes last night, great start.
Yeah.
Scoring 4 goals in the first period, I believe.
Yeah.
And for a big win, so, 2 wins in a row.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I actually didn't see the game, but I, noticed with Brendan Ferlini 2 goals. And so he's a bright spot.
He really is.
You
can tell of all the young players, except for Max Domi. I mean, those 2, Max Domi and Perlini, really have something special. This guy's speed, Perlini, is just outstanding, and he makes his own breaks. And you got to like that in a hockey player, because he's the type of guy that can turn a game around. Remember, I always said, well, the Coyotes really don't have this, player that can change a game changer.
Yeah,
he really could be the way he's looking. And the other guy, I think, Peter Holland, has looked a little bit better. He has some skill.
Yeah, I mean, he was a high pick, but, he hasn't really ever put it together in the league. He was with Anaheim and then Toronto, of course, where the Coyotes got him from. But, you got to look at the positives, and Perlini's definitely one of them. And,
oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so much good young talent. The thing is young talent, especially at the NHL level, you see the inconsistencies sometimes that come out. So there'll be the roller coasters, there'll be the ups and downs, but you're getting that experience now, and that's going to be huge for them in the coming years, because there's more guys that are going to be coming up, and, Strome and Keller. I mean, Keller is just phenomenally skilled. He was great. Yeah, over Strome and Team Canada. And so
for the younger players, what's the toughest part of the game to kind of adjust to? Is it the speed? Is it the what is it?
I think a little of everything, but the speed and the size element as well. Because let's say a player is coming from junior hockey. There's definitely not only a speed element, but that size thing. Now, if they play a little time, let's say, in the AHL, size-wise, it's closer because it's a professional league, and there's not just young guys, but some veterans and stuff. But still, speed-wise, a huge difference. So you kind of mix it together with both of those. And I think a complete game type of situation, especially if you look at forwards, sometimes forwards coming up, there might be a guy who has all the offensive skill in the world, however, maybe doesn't quite know how to play in his own end, per se, and or away from the puck. And so that's something coming up, especially if they're in the organization on the AHL team, that those coaches and when you have prospect development camps, they try to work on. However, still, when you get to that level, that's sometimes where you see some issue. You might see, this kid's showing flashes of brilliance, or you watch him in practice, you're like, wow, this guy's going to be amazing. But then that first year or first, 15, 20 games, you see him and you go, in the game situation might struggle a little because not only trying to get used to the speed and the size, but where to be. You got to think a play ahead or so. Gretzky thought 2 plays ahead. So he was ahead of everyone.
I would imagine on the ice it's even more critical because, like you said, you have to be in certain spots. And as an athlete, and even in business, if you're thinking. You're usually a step behind. It has to, you have to be natural, and it has to, your assignments and things. They have to roll off of your head. You have to be reacting, not thinking out there. So if they're out there and they're, worried about the location, the opposite, they're going to be a step behind. I should say a skate behind.
Well, especially I think in hockey, right, Greg, where, the puck travels so much faster than you can skate. And if you're out of position, to clog up a lane or, try to get the stick on the pass that's going through, one little mistake like that, boom, they're off to the races.
Well, yeah, like they say, it's a game of inches because not just position in terms of where you're at, but, let's look. I'll give an example. And this could happen at any point of a game, but you're killing a penalty. Literally, if you know where to put your stick in terms of blocking the passing lane, that's huge. That even just that little inch, if you have it maybe an inch out further, that could be the difference in saving a cross-ice pass. That could be a one-time shot, or you can even intercept it and go up ice. So there's a lot of just little detail, and that comes over time.
And also, if you're a smaller defenseman against a big forward, if they're on the power play, tie up their stick, right? That's little things like that make a huge difference because you tie up their stick, guess what? Well, they can't shoot. So, but if you try to move someone bigger than you or that's a problem sometimes.
Yeah, it could be, and that's the stick work is key. Because even for big guys on big guys or a big guy on a smaller guy, you still, in terms of moving a guy out of the way, it's still a bit difficult because obviously if the puck's not to you yet, there's not much you can do. You can't do interference. But you got to make sure to be in the proper lane, proper side of the puck per se. You don't want to, the forwards in front kind of be behind the guy, because then he'll have that inside position. So there's so much that comes into play, and that's one of those things where you see, especially with young defensemen a lot of times, like you said, whether they're big or small, defensemen seem to take longer to develop or at least get to that prime range, where forwards, sometimes we've seen them come in 20, 21 and already putting up good numbers and prime number. Well, and even younger in Matthews' case. But the thing is that, and he'll even continue to get better, but some of these guys, from 20 to 27 put up these great numbers, and then forwards sometimes stay at their spot because you would think prime age is that 27 to 32 range, and they'll still have their good years. But defensemen, sometimes you'll see guys at 23, 24 kind of start to get in gel, and then you'll really start to see that takeoff at 27 and then last for quite a while.
You guys both bring up size. Now, obviously, we're watching guys out there on skates, and they look even taller because of the extra couple inches they get standing on the blades. What is the average size of an NHL player? What's a good size? What's a small?
Small would be 5'8".
Yes.
But there are 5'8" people.
They look like giants out there, obviously, when they're
on their skates. Yeah. But 5'8", 5'9", there's some pretty good players at that size.
There are, especially nowadays because there's no clutching and grabbing. In the past, guys could clutch, grab. There's no penalty. But now, basically, if a guy has the puck and if you reach out with your hand, even if you don't really grab him, basically. So for some of the smaller guys, it does help. That average size, it kind of depends on type of player and situation, but you see that 6 foot, 195, 200, as long as you're kind of built solidly. Forwards, you want to be able to go to the net and not have to worry about,
There have been some guys who have been a lot taller than that, too.
Matthew Tkachuk.
A lot.
How about Matthew Tkachuk?
Oh, he's huge.
About 6'2", but he's leading. I think he's leading I think the team in penalty minutes at 19. They say that's very impressive. But he's scoring points, too, though. Yeah. This guy, he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, and his dad, Keith, back it was still when the Coyotes were in Winnipeg.
Power forward.
He was already amazing at his age, at a young age like that, sort of like his son Matthew is now. But a lot of players are much bigger. And it also depends on your play style. So you'll see a lot of defensemen, and even with forwards, but 6'2", 215.
Chara?
Well, he's 6'9" or something.
9?
Yeah. He's something like that.
What's too big? Is there somebody?
Well, as long as you don't have too much upper body muscle, as weird as that sounds, you want to make sure to have
all down here.
You don't want it to slow it down. Yeah, you need that power, so the strong abs and leg muscles, and you're good. But I mean, obviously, being strong, great, but you don't want to be too unlevel or whatever. I guess a wording could be for that, because it could slow you down a little bit. But you'll see that a lot of times the coaching staff, let's say if there's a player who's 6'3", 6'4", 225, but he's not physical and stuff, sometimes you get, I mean, it depends on other things, but you might get a little disappointed because you want to see kind of that physical play, especially when you have that size to you. But no, there's quite a lot of guys in this league. I mean, more so over the 6 foot mark.
Yeah.
But again, the little guys are
Max
finding
Domi,
a place.
5'8" maybe?
5'8", 5'9", yeah. But he's built like a bull, though.
With all the padding, the guys just look so much bigger than they actually are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but he is big. He's a low center of gravity.
He's built strong, yeah.
He's built like a fullback, a short fullback. I mean, this guy is just like his dad.
And it's not just the upper body he has. I mean, because he keeps the power down there.
My assumption from just watching the game and not being in tune, I thought all the guys were like 6'4", 6'5", because they look so big on the ice.
Yeah.
But in reality, I say you take the blades off and they take all that padding off. It's almost like they layer down. And
they're still pretty good size.
They're still pretty good size.
6 feet range.
But, but could you imagine, like, you're thinking about the NFL with the offensive linemen weighing in at like 320, 330. And you got some of the defensive linemen.
And they can run.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine a 330-pounder running after you and they can catch you?
But the great equalizer is that ice. Put football players on ice.
That'd be tough.
What hockey players do
Amazing.
on ice is, I tell people all the time, is one of the most amazing. They're some of the best athletes in the world, if you ask me, because it's just the thought of, I've never put a pair of skates on in my life, but just, watching what they do, and not just skating up and down. I'm talking changing direction, jumping over people, landing, getting shots off while being, held and pulled down. It is something that is quite amazing to watch.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, the Coyotes play Anaheim. They're coming into Glendale tonight. I believe a 6 o'clock start. Anaheim's they're playing pretty well. And I think they have Kessler back, I think, from an injury.
And he's having a nice year. I was definitely wrong on him. I thought this would be the time where Kessler would start slowing down.
He's done well.
Yeah. He has. Big boost for them. And because it seems like Getzlaf and Perry, beginning of the season, they always seem to struggle for some reason. And I'm not sure about now, but I know I think Getzlaf has also had some injury issues as well. Yeah, I mean, down the middle, though, with both those guys, when they're both healthy and on, I mean, it's tough to match up against the Ducks down the middle right now. And on D, they have all these good young defensemen. It's
and I think Vermette was a pretty good pickup, 64% and face-off leading the league. And, with his experience, he's certainly a decent player. Yeah. So it won't be easy. Coyotes definitely played a pretty good game. They didn't play 60 minutes worth. Winnipeg almost came back.
Right.
And but Smith, congratulations to Mike Smith. He's going to be on the All-Star team.
Yeah.
So that's always a cool deal. And
they had to have someone.
And
every team.
They do it like baseball. Is that how they do it?
What about Larson? Don't you think he not as good a year as past?
Well, I think there were some people disappointed thinking he should have got in over. I think Cam Fowler got in. Because the other goaltenders in the division, like Peter Budaj, what he's done, he's top 10 in almost all the main categories in the All-Star games in L.A.
True.
And even some of the other goaltenders you would think. Now, Smith has done well. The numbers don't show it.
But he gets a bunch of shots on him.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
But he has done well. So, I mean, I deserved in that regard. I think what I'm more of meaning is some of the controversy, when people try to talk about, hey, this guy was snubbed and that guy. And yeah, it may have happened in some cases, and it does. But every team needs a representative, and
there he is.
Yeah, and I think
it is deserved.
Yeah, and he'll have fun over there. I think he'll do well.
Yeah, I think so too. And let's remind all the listeners, come on down here. We're live from Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street, right here at, it used to be called City North, and it's now called High Street. And this is a great place. It really is. They got good sporting events going on. There's food. Great food, by the way. This is one of the better places you'll find great quality food and unique food. And they have a sushi bar right behind me. Do you see that? With the blue, nicely lit blue lights. Looks sort of cool.
It's nice.
If you have a date, it looks sort of romantic, but we don't have a date here. And again, this is Real Hockey Talk. I'm Dave, alongside of Greg and Ed Smith, former NFL player. Come on down, have some fun. We're at the Kona Grill till 4 o'clock. We'll be right back after this break.
Get all the latest on the Cardinals, ASU, U of A, D-backs, and the Suns during the Sports Zone with Bob Kemp. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live on NBC Sports AM 1060 KDUS in Phoenix. And we are broadcasting live from Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street, Suite 101. That's funny when I say a restaurant, Suite 101, but that's what it is. And it's on the west end of High Street. So come on down. We're here till 4. I think they're open till, probably 10 or so. And great food. Wow, just a lot of good stuff here. I bet the sushi bar is outstanding. You guys really love sushi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love her sister, Patty, but sushi's okay, right?
Sushi's great.
It is delicious.
Yeah. And
have you ever tried it?
I've tried some, but I'm not. I like tempura, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's it. I don't know. I've tried some stuff, but
gotta get a little more adventurous, Dave.
Yeah, I know. I better. Yes, I know.
Man.
But Kona Grill, really nice place. Come on down, have some fun, and watch us do a live remote broadcast. Now, we've been talking about the Coyotes, and of course, they've had some injuries. Martinick's been out, Ryan White, and of course, Max Domi. That's the one that has been out, and what I understand, he's still going to be out for a few more weeks. So that certainly doesn't help at all the Coyotes' need for scoring. So we'll see what happens. With Perini playing, he really does look pretty good now. And they go get out there to the Glendale tonight. You're going to see. I think they're first in the division, Anaheim, I believe now, and playing well. Sometimes the Coyotes play well against Anaheim, but this particular team, I don't think so.
Well, any game you want to get up for, especially against a rival in your division, and so we hope to see that. And I don't know if I believe necessarily in the term momentum from game to game, but maybe after a couple wins here, maybe some confidence kind of brewing in there. But definitely, Perlini is just so fun to watch out there, and it's great to see because he's a high pick. And obviously a highly touted prospect. But then last year, I struggled a bit. And sometimes people look too far into that a little bit. But a good offseason and a great start in the AHL this year with the Roadrunners. Yeah. And now, of course, up with the Coyotes. And just showing why he was a top pick a couple of years ago. Was it like 12th overall?
I think
something
it was
like
12th,
that.
Yeah. So hopefully that will continue to evolve. That's the type of young player they want, of course. And now, we started looking into what's going on. Certainly this is the last year of the lease with the Coyotes, with Glendale. Haven't heard much about that. They picked a site in Tempe, collaborating with ASU to have a 4,000-seat stadium, and then plus a 16,000-seat stadium. But what I recently found out that, it's a $400 million project. But the Coyotes said they put up $200 million, so half a stadium doesn't do anyone any good. But the other $200, they're hoping for the state to put up, which is called a TIF. And a TIF is a tax increment financing situation where it's been around like 50 years. Many places have done it in the past, but it's sort of taxpayers' money. I mean, they can freeze property taxes for 20 years or whatever. And I think they're looking at a unique combination of, from sales tax to, maybe some bonds. I'm not sure. I haven't read the details, but that's what they're hoping for. And, states, especially Arizona, and I think many states, in fact, California, Jerry Brown just put sort of the kibosh. What does that mean? Like a stop?
Yeah.
On these TIF financing arrangements. It could be a problem, as well Glendale knows. They've had their own issues, and when the Coyotes leave, I don't know what's going to happen to that beautiful arena in Glendale. But so, it's something to look at, and I think we're going to get into this a little deeper because it hasn't hit the state yet. The last reported thing from Doug Ducey, the governor, he doesn't know anything about it. I don't think the state's really high on it, but we'll talk to some people. We know some people in the government and talk to them about, hey, is that a realistic possibility? I think it's a tough one because, some of the disadvantages there, it's from unfairness to certain neighbors that don't get funding, and if you can't get funding from regular banks, you really need a bailout from the government. Look what's happened with bailout from the government the last 5-6 years. No one's liked it. It's it's been a problem. And how about your fellow other sports teams? Do they get the advantage of that too?
I thought the bailout's been good, though, where the auto industry has really picked up.
Well, that might have been good.
Yes.
But overall, to fund some of the main,
with the
not
sports,
the Main Street, the Wall Street executives that made a fortune.
Well, with this,
right. It's a little different, but I think it's, if you can't get it on the open market, you're not on the open market anymore. You're getting some favors done.
Well, yeah, I mean, locally it will be tough.
Yeah.
In that regard, because other businesses, as Dave said, hey, what about us, type of thing. But
yeah, how about all the people that it's a little different, but it's similar. What about all the people that got foreclosed? They didn't get bailed out, did they? Not at all. No. So it's a tough one. I think it's been sort of under the radar a bit. Don't you think? It hasn't hit big media, this TIF deal.
Oh, the Coyote stuff? Yeah, no, it's still kind of quiet, and see, that's the thing.
It is.
And here, obviously, everyone is anxious, the fans, and you just want to see this whole scenario finally end. And hope that gets worked out, and then possibly for a couple years before the arena would be built. They may just stay in Glendale, can work something out there with City of Glendale and the AEG. Yep. On the other hand, it's one of those things that it's just really hard to keep total track on because it's quiet and because there'll be the roller coasters with it where you kind of have some sad feelings like, oh, no, I don't know if this could work. But then you go, oh, okay, there is some hope. But it's sort of all over the place. And in a way, sometimes keeping quiet is good because when stuff comes out, sometimes taken the wrong way or might be, the broadcast the wrong way or something like that. Hopefully soon, though, we hear something because we really have to hear something soon. I mean, you can't go to the summer and still with Glendale not know and then not know if the arena will end up getting built because again it'll take a while.
Round 3 or 4 because
27.
Yeah, because every time something gets settled, I'm thinking, okay, they're done with that. They're here, and then next thing you know, they're back on the block again, and nothing is a definite.
Nothing's. So. It's been uncertain for 5 to 6 years now.
Oh, man.
Roughly since the bankruptcy days.
Oh,
I mean,
boy. No, it's more than that.
Probably more. We covered it for
probably 09, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
It's been really a crazy thing, and it looks like we're back into another situation where it's very uncertain. And I don't know, how the players feel, but certainly trying to raise money. They certainly have raised their prices with the season tickets. And it's not easy, and what do you do? What's the balancing act? If you're in the business end of hockey or any sports team and you really want to stay here, but you may not be able to stay here, you just can't say, yeah, we're leaving. I mean, what would happen? I mean, attendance probably would go down significantly.
Oh, plummet. How do you sell your future when you're in this type of
that? I don't think you can, and that's why the attendance partially been low. I think maybe the location has something to do with it too. Yeah. But you can't. How do you get all the corporate sponsors if it's sort of a company on its way to another location? We're not saying they're moving, but where do they go? I mean, if they can't cut the deal, and I'm reading a bunch of stuff on TIFs. It's all over the place, but one of the downfalls of it, risky business, it says money's always available for good deals, and I believe that too. And if an entrepreneur, family, friends, investors, venture capitalists, and banks aren't willing to fund the project, maybe taxpayers shouldn't either. That's a valid point. So you got some problems there if you have to rely on, if you don't have the equity, the capital, then you're thinly capitalized. And if you continue to have low attendance and not very good teams, unless you're just unlimited amounts of money, some sports teams are. I don't think this team is. It's a big risk. I mean, Ed, if you had $100 million or whatever the case is, you would evaluate it based on risk reward.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, and so, how risky is this? And the state's going to do the same thing, but they have more to lose because when you need more money in education and the state is in deficit position and they need other things that the taxpayers are paying for, do you put it into a team that's already had a blemish with Glendale? Well, I think it's a problem.
Yeah, the last thing you can do, too, as well, is justify spending that money in a sports franchise, like you said, when your educational system and so many things need to be fixed right now. And, we got a glimpse of that, what could be just the other day with San Diego, the Chargers decided to move out of that whole thing. They're going up to L.A. And leaving that city high and dry. And the sad part about that is the Chargers were there for 56 years.
Yeah, so incredible. So there's a lot of loyal fans there.
So this wasn't like a fledgling organization that just found hard times. They've been there for 56 years, and part of the disgust, I think, from the fans, and I think part of it, we would kind of feel the same wave over here, is that you got these billionaire owners that won't come out of their own pocket to fund their own business. They want bailouts or the towns, the cities.
They want to reduce risk. That's the key.
Yeah, you build us a new stadium or we're leaving. And that's rough.
Yeah, it is. Although the ones out here aren't billionaires.
Yeah, no.
No, I know what you mean. It is tough. Yeah, they move. With moving to L.A., kind of that play. With San Diego, even though now obviously with the Rams there, but a different division, but. You see the Dodgers-Padres rivalry, and so you think San Diego, they're not the most fond of L.A. teams. So then it's like, man, they moved to the place, so San Diegans probably aren't.
They're unhappy. I talked to a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that they're gone, but part two is like, no, the one place that we don't want them to
There's L.A. no team in, umpteen years, and now they got
two.
Crazy, right?
Just more evidence, though, that, people sometimes get lost on the fact, it's sports. But I love my team. It is all business, and it all comes down to money.
That's why I think this is going to be a tough deal. And, I mean, ideological hypocrisy I've been reading about regarding this. And the report here is how can those supporting free private enterprise, capitalism, and marketplace forces who think government is the problem and want it off their back justify taking money from the public collection plate. So, in other words, there's some hypocrisy there, too. And I don't know.
Where are you reading that from?
I did my homework. But it is interesting because I think Ed has it right on the money issue because you got to look long-term, too. I mean, if you're going to be in business, you better have the reserves to stay in business if there's certain unforeseen factors. And factors you can't control, there's factors you can control. And we were talking about this last week, right? Ed, about we're going to start looking at organizational excellence and what makes a great sports team, whatever type of sport it is, great. And there are some that are just every year they're doing phenomenal. I mean, I think Detroit might be a model of excellence. They haven't been in the Stanley Cup for a while, but they're making the playoffs, it seems, every year for the longest time. And you see in football, there's certainly, what would you say, New England might
Green
be?
Bay, New England.
I mean, there's some.
Pittsburgh. It comes down to stability, and we talked about this last week. It all starts at the top.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Ownership down to general manager to people within your whether it be finance. It goes so deep, and I'm actually looking forward to us doing that little. I think project.
So. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun, like you said, because we'll be able to match up. It's like there's ingredients to all the successful teams, that regardless of the sport. And like I said, we put those lay them all out. We're going to find a lot of consistencies with the good, and a lot of consistencies with the bad,
and the ugly,
and they're the other thing too for the players themselves. There's so much like with the Coyotes. Yeah, every day you come to work, and you don't know what your future is, and those guys. People think, they just go and they play. No, that stuff weighs on them as well.
Right.
Remember a few years ago when they were going through the whole thing of whether they were leaving. You're talking about possibly in the middle of, like an off season. Say if something happened where they did have to leave. And now all of a sudden you're talking about uprooting your family, moving, wherever they were going,
right,
to Canada, whatever the situation may be. But those things weigh on the back of players' minds, and it takes away from their focus on the court, on the ice, whatever it may be. And that, like we throw that factor in there when you start talking about successful and non-successful. This is something that, players will tell you, no, it doesn't bother me. I could care less. It really does. Those type of things sit in the back of their minds, and it's a factor in what goes on, the product on the field as well.
And the people in the organization behind the scenes, they're worried, and all the jobs that can be lost from the food concession stands, parking to whatever, and look what it's done to Westgate. Many businesses have left that, not by choice, I don't think, and so it's a real problem. So having certainty really does help any type of business, and it looks like maybe it's back to uncertainty. But we'll look into this, and we're not saying we want them to leave. We're just saying, hey, what's going to happen? I mean, look at half the season's gone. This is it. This is their last lease unless they renegotiate, right?
Yeah. Last year, yeah.
So where do they, to me that, I don't know. I would be a little concerned and nervous right now unless obviously they know a lot behind the scenes than I do. But they better have, any good strategic planner knows you better have an exit strategy. Always an exit. What is their exit strategy? Yeah. In other words, what's their backup plan? And it better be as solid as the first plan. And the first plan doesn't seem very solid. The backup plan may be more solid than the first plan. Really, think about that. That's very scary to so many people. And but we'll see what happens. But boy, is that cutting it close?
Yeah,
it
for
is.
A major franchise.
Yes. Well, like you said, unless there's stuff behind the scenes that's basically done and complete that just hasn't come out.
In today's age, it's very hard to keep anything behind the curtains.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anything is out there is going to be leaked. So the fact that there's silence, to me, means that they don't really have an idea of what's coming next.
I hope they have a backup. It could be. Well. I don't know, other locations perhaps?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know either, but maybe.
If it wasn't here in Arizona, I don't know.
You could say maybe Seattle possibly?
Yeah, they got to work on their arena and stuff, which they are, AEG and Tim Light Wiki Group, but it's one of those things, let's say always say the 2-week thing with the Coyotes, and unfortunately we just got to keep waiting and hope that the best comes.
Yeah, we will hope for the best, but we also want to see what's going on and report what little we do know about this, and we'll find out and let the listeners know. So anyway, that's what's happening with what they call a tiff. Now, in the old days, a tiff meant, if you were married, you had a little fight with your wife, right? Ever have a tiff with anyone?
Yeah, I've had a bunch of tiffs.
Yeah. But not in this case. Tax increment financing. It's been around a long time. So we will see what happens there. So anyway, that's a little bit of a report for all the listeners. Around the league, we wanted to go over this last week. I think we ran out of time, but boy, the Columbus Blue Jackets fell one win short, right, of tying the NHL record.
They did.
17 consecutive victories. That is incredible. They lost. The losing game was 5-0 against Washington Capitals.
Yeah.
But, wow, they are playing well. This is a team to definitely reckon with.
Well, both of those teams, Columbus and Washington, are just amazing right now. 62 points for Columbus. Have a game in hand on Washington, who's just a point behind them, 61. And both have great goal differentials, plus 47 for Columbus and plus 40 for Washington. But, yeah, the Capitals, I mean, you saw how dominant they were last year in the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
Got off to a slower start this year, and maybe some of their big guys at times struggled, but everything seems to be going into play now. And defensively, I mean, they've been great. I mean, the old Washington teams, before Barry Trotz was there as coach, you think about good offensively, can't really play defense. But now one of the top defensive teams in the league right now. I think them and Minnesota are kind of neck and neck with that. But it's amazing, only allowing 86 goals right now in 42 games, and they've done great.
Some teams have really made a big difference from last year, and of course, you say Minnesota and the Columbus team. Look at that, Pittsburgh, Stanley Cup champs. They're third, but they're hanging within distance to catch up.
Yeah,
it's certainly a great record. I mean,
they possibly can. Yeah, but remember last year the Penguins had struggled, but they put it together at the right time, and then after the deadline and some of the young guys they called up, and you get hot at the right time, and you put it together in the playoffs. But it is a very good team, and, yeah, I mean, for the winner, for the Metropolitan Division, it could be any one of those teams. It's a very strong division. The Rangers, they played 43 games, a little more than some of the teams ahead of them. But they have 57 points. And then Philly, they're not going to come back and win the division or anything. And they have played 45 games, more than those other teams.
Right.
But, Philly with 50 points, they had been struggling. They had finally won. They lost again today, though, this afternoon to Boston. So it's a tough one. But currently they hold that second wild card spot. And so it's good to see if Philly could make the playoffs. It's always fun when they're in there.
Yeah, a little
Plenty
concerned
of time,
they're negative in goal differential.
Minus 11,
but,
yeah.
But, that can happen. Anaheim's never been one for major goal differentials. They're at a +5, and you look at, San Jose +16, and on the other side you got, Minnesota +44.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Well,
I mean, that is just, and then St. Louis, look, a -10. That's
well, the thing with Minnesota, it's interesting, is that Devin Dubnyk has been amazing. I mean, he's really the main reason for that. Their advanced stats aren't great, per se, but again, there's more to it than that. They found ways to win. Eric Stahl's been a nice addition. And so they look good. A big win over Montreal the other night. Montreal was on back-to-back, but still 7-1. And all seven, I believe, were on Carey Price. And the best goaltender in the league.
Yeah.
And every goaltender team has an off night here and there. It happens. It's life. But, Minnesota, every time I think, okay, maybe they'll go back down a little. They've stayed consistently good, and Devin Dubnyk almost had another shutout. It was, I think, 11 seconds left when Montreal broke the shutout, so it was tough. But, he's been amazing for them. And like the Caps, they've also only allowed 86 goals. And,
wow.
Minnesota's only played 40 games. I mean, they have 5 games in hand on the Blackhawks, who are only 2 points ahead of them in that Central Division.
5-4-1 last 10. That's not that good. Where Minnesota 8-1-1. They're on a roll. There's no doubt.
Yeah, Chicago coming off the big loss to Washington, a blowout.
Yeah. But they'll be there and then.
That's the thing. Yeah, when it's all said and done. But I mean, Minnesota might be their year to win the division. I mean, again, it's still half the season left. You could go through a stretch where you go 2-8 in a 10-game stretch, and all of a sudden everyone catches you. But they've been consistent.
Teams will have to go 0-10 to catch the Coyotes.
Yes.
All right, that wasn't funny. Okay, and then now we did say the Columbus Blue Jackets were one shy of the tying the streak for best winning streak. Who was number one?
Oh man,
let's see if you know. You do know this.
Is it Pittsburgh?
I'll tell you who. They had 4 100-point scorers that year. There was a guy at 160 points, another guy at 111 points, 109 points, and 100 points. That is incredible. And the youngster, the 21-year-old Yager, had 94 points that year.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That is a super team. Look at that team.
They had Ron
Lemieux,
Francis,
106. Yeah, Stevens, Rick Tocchet. You're right. Yager had 94? Are you kidding?
It's amazing when you think of that, because the skill and the size that they had. You have your power forwards, and then you have that skill, and then some of the offensive defensemen they used to have on that. I forget exactly in those exact years when they won those 2 cups in the early '90s. But amazing. Tom Barrasso and that, and
tremendous team, and and then the second most. Let's see. Well, the Blue Jackets, like we talked about.
Yeah.
But other teams you thought may have more didn't. I'll just go through some of the like Florida Panthers. They had 12 in a row. They're down like 9th best or something. But Yager was also involved in Florida's longest winning streak, scoring 6 times in 12 games at age 43. That guy is.
It's amazing.
I don't even.
He wants to play till like 55,
and he probably can. I mean, the guy is amazing. So.
Yeah.
Minnesota, they've had a 12-game winning streak, December 4th through the 29th of 2016.
And Columbus ended that.
Yeah, and outscoring their opposition 40-22. So they were definitely on a roll, no doubt. And Anaheim, they have 11. Their most was 11, and they were. What was interesting there, the Ducks were last in the Pacific Division at Christmas break, but the 11-game winning streak helped them overtake the field and finish first. I remember that. We thought, what happened to Anaheim? But
last season?
I think it was February 13th to March 15th, 2016.
Right.
Really interesting, actually, stuff, and you got to love that stuff.
Who is the oldest player to ever play in NHL?
Gordie Howe, I think.
Gordie Howe,
about 50
in the 50s. He played with his kids.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he could still get on the skates at that age.
Yeah, he was still pretty good.
It was truly.
It was before my time. I don't think I was born yet still.
It was even sort of before my time, in a way.
No, not when
all right, at the end of his career, I remember.
Okay.
You remember very well.
I remember J.P. Kelly of the Kings crashing in, the young rookie, into Gordie Howe, and everyone was shocked. Like, are you kidding me? The
and
guy's
what
50. I don't know who.
Did Howe still take care of him?
Probably. Well, JP was pretty tough, but
Gordie Howe, man.
Yeah, a legend, no doubt. So we are live here at Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street. Come on down. We're here till 4. They're open, I think, at least till 10, maybe later. And great food, great fun, good stuff. Come on down, and we have some special guests coming up at 3 o'clock. Ruben Paul, a comedian from House of Comedy. Great place, just sort of like next door, a couple doors down perhaps. And this is Real Hockey Talk. I'm Dave, alongside Greg and former NFL player, Atlanta Falcons, Ed Smith. And we'll be right back after these words.
NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
And welcome back again to Real Hockey Talk, live from the Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street. It used to be called City North, and now it's High Street. I'm not going to say why. No, I will say why. I don't know why, actually. Sounds like a cool name, High Street, right? Probably should be in Tempe somewhere on Mill Street.
Whatever it's called, it's a great place.
It really is. This is unique, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, they have, like, people that live here.
It is nice.
Are these condos or apartments?
Right? Yeah, I think something.
I think we take for granted how nice our area is sometimes, meaning like the Phoenix area.
Really is.
You think about what other, parts of the country are going through right now with the snow and the ice, the nasty weather.
Oh, man.
And, we're out here in short sleeve shirts. And
my air conditioning going today.
Yeah, it's just.
You had your air on?
In the car. Well, my car
I did too.
Gets hot. Yeah.
I do the same thing. I have mine on too.
It's a cool place, though. I mean, would you like to live here? Would that be a cool deal, or do you think it'd be too noisy?
If I was young and in the scene, it would be a nice place. But I'd much rather be off on my own and not necessarily the apartment or condo lifestyle.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think at a younger age, maybe college time or right after, it would be great.
Because for me, like when I'm on the road, I obviously have to eat out and everything. But when I'm home, I want to be in my kitchen cooking. So I couldn't have, like this would be great if you're younger. Yeah. You want to be out there every night, grabbing a drink and being on the scene. But you can't knock it. I mean, it's great. It's beautiful.
It is sort of cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what it costs for these condos or apartments.
We'll
have to check that out.
There you go. Condos aren't the greatest investment, but for you, Dave, why don't you do that? And Ed will get keys to it, and so we could split weekends.
But if I did it, it'd be in Vegas.
That works too.
Go, yeah.
Is that what we want?
Baby. Okay, even better.
Vegas crash pad.
Yeah, there we go.
So a trivia question. What the only team of the original 6 teams that never had a double-digit winning streak? But they won, it was 9 games in a row. 7 times, by the way, which is impressive. 7 times, 9 games in a row.
Of the original 6.
I mean, it's
Chicago Blackhawks.
Ooh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
who do we think we have?
Oh, man, it's probably either the Rangers or Leafs.
The Leafs?
Rangers or Leafs, one of those
That
teams.
is incorrect. Let's get someone in the audience.
Oh, it's not the Rangers?
It's the Detroit Red Wings.
Really?
Yeah, I would never have guessed that.
Can you guys roll off the original 6 right off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean,
Detroit,
that's simple,
Blackhawks.
Really. Yeah, Boston, Montreal, Rangers. Toronto, Rangers.
Chicago, Detroit.
Yeah, I think we said the 6. I don't remember.
We're up to 8, though. What happened?
Luckily, there's only 6. If there was more, yeah.
How about the Winnipeg Jets, Arizona Coyotes? They combined for what? A 9-game win streak.
They combined for it?
Yeah.
When?
I don't know. It was March.
The one franchise. I thought you were making fun of both the different organizations.
Oh, yeah.
Since they're both having tough times in a way. But
how about we love them.
Was it 8?
I'm sorry, it's 9.
Oh, they've done
2010.
9.
So that's not bad, right?
Yeah.
And then let's see, any other notable? No, not really. Now, I always get the guy's name right. I don't know why. Patrick from the Jets, rookie.
Line A, he's out. Yeah,
that's a shame.
Unfortunate.
Did you see that
what a player.
It was Jake McCabe hit him. Open ice, center ice, but I don't think it was an illegal hit, though. But it certainly was a ferocious hit.
What's the injury?
Concussion.
Oh, concussion.
Yeah.
And he was leading rookies with 37 points, 21 goals. Tied with Austin Matthews, I think, who has 21 goals. I mean, they got some really talented young players.
Oh, yeah.
Look, there's a new sheriff in town, and you know what I'm talking about. Who's the new sheriff?
The real new sheriff? Or
well, there is a real new sheriff.
Yeah, which is great, but...
but who is the real new sheriff? At, I don't know, 20 years old maybe?
McDavid? Yeah.
I mean, look.
He's amazing.
I mean, he's ahead of Sidney Crosby at 5 points. I mean,
like I said, he might be among the most skilled, if not most skilled, I've ever seen in that sense. Just what he could do.
Incredible.
Incredible. Yeah, these young guys really taking over. But, it's amazing. Before Laine's injury, I mean, him and Matthews both on basically a 40-goal pace. And
incredible.
As rookies right now. And so hope the best for Laine. And with Matthews, what he's done for Toronto, I mean, they've as a team, I mean, there are other young guys as well. But,
very nice, yeah.
They might make the playoffs. I mean, there's plenty of time, but they're playing pretty well.
Yeah. And then you look at Crosby and Malkin. They're 45 points each.
Malkin's having a nice year with them, yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a really exciting end and playoff season this year.
Yeah, because the parity is just so great in the league right now. And, what's amazing is that you look at some of the teams that, like, look at the West real quick, L.A. and Nashville. Now, Nashville is just out of a spot now. However, if they get healthy, and Subban should be getting healthy, they're a type of team that can run it together. And if they made the play, I wouldn't want to face them. Even if they were the second wild card team. I mean, if you were, the division winner and that first seed and had to go up against, you'd probably like, no. Or if you had to go up against, if it ended today, if Chicago had to go up against L.A. if everything ended. Of course they don't want to do that.
There's really not an easy cakewalk here for any team in the playoffs, either division, either conference.
Top 8 from each conference gets in, don't they?
Yeah. And they've changed it where, it's the top 3 in each division. So 2 divisions per conference, and then there's 2 wild card spots. Okay. And but basically it evened out like that. But so it is amazing, really, still, because right now the New York Rangers are in the first wild card spot in the Eastern Conference, but this is just an outstanding team. And if the season ended today, they'd be playing Montreal, and I'm sure Montreal would be like, no, we win our division, but we got to go up against the Rangers. It's like
we were talking earlier about football, and we were talking about the home field advantage with the Chiefs. How prevalent is home field advantage or home ice advantage in hockey? It does, because the reason I ask is because I watch. When the playoffs come around, it never seems to fail. Mm-hmm. There's always like somebody winning on somebody else's ice.
Yeah,
that does happen.
It's weird because nowadays it just seems like, even if you start on the road and don't have that home ice advantage, it's okay. The interesting thing about it is the home teams, they get the last change, when there's a whistle, it's on no icing situation. And so usually that should be an advantage to the home team because they'll see, they're putting their top line out. We're going to get our guys that match up against them.
What does that mean? They get the last change?
Yeah, so let's say, there's a whistle and you get a face-off going on. You might see a ref or linesman. The ref is standing by one of the both the benches, kind of watching, and so the road team has to, if they're making change, they got to make sure change any guys up. Then the home team can. So let's say the road team puts their 4th line out. Home team might go, okay, we're going to put our top line out now.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then it could be an advantage. In some situations it definitely can be. And sometimes the road team then has to hope, let's get in the other team's zone and get our top line out real quick. But so that's why things like that, they're little, but they are little at times. And so it just depends. But, you're right. The road teams, it just seems like nowadays it's not, maybe 10 years ago it'd be like, we got the home ice. We're probably going to win the series. But now it's like, you never know. You always see the road teams coming through.
That's right. So, and Jeff Carter having a very nice year, 22 goals right now, second in the league.
Yeah.
Right, 4 behind Crosby. You got to say, hey, right? That's
substantial. For the most part, until the last couple of games, he was the only one scoring for that team.
Yeah. And they're in a playoff position right now.
Yeah, and they may get Tyler Toffoli back soon. He's been out
a
while. Yeah, so
there's no doubt. And of course, the Kings will honor someone we had on our show several years ago. In fact, I think it's Monday. They're going to have a game at Staples Center, and of course, that's Willie O'Ree.
Oh, very good.
He's a cool guy. Remember,
we
absolutely.
Talked to him. Very
and,
nice guy.
And, of course, O'Ree became the very first black player to skate in the NHL on January 18th, 1958.
Yeah. Wow.
No one was born at that time.
Dave was at the game.
Oh, I was born, but I was a little guy. But
that's a great fact. I didn't know that.
It's really cool. And he played for Boston Bruins against Montreal Canadiens at the Forum. And, he played 45 games in 2 seasons with the Bruins, scoring 4 goals, 10 assists. But he's really quite an ambassador. He's NHL's director of youth development for its diversity task force. And so he'll be on hand when the Kings host a special screening of the movie Soul on Ice. Did you know that?
I had no idea. When did you say this is coming up?
This is this Monday, Martin Luther King Day. So
that's
great. A cool deal. He's really such a nice guy. He was a big star in San Diego. They retired him. San Diego Gulls, the AHL
Absolutely.
Really good stuff there in this movie, evidently. Soul on Ice, a documentary details the trials and contribution of black players in hockey, and I think it's cool. Really cool.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed, watching the games. Sometimes you just be flipping through, and I've seen more African Americans out there on the ice, and
absolutely,
it's encouraging.
It is very much, and I think it's really
a little too cold for my taste, but
it is cold. Although you went to a Coyote game in shorts.
I laugh about that all the time. Every time we talk, it was about 3 or 4 years ago when they were in the Coyotes were in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I went with you guys, and man, you talking about unprepared. I'm thinking it was a hot summer day, They got out there. I went over there with shorts on.
It gets cold.
Oh my goodness!
It can get cold.
Yeah.
There's no doubt, and
that's one of those lessons you only have to be taught once.
Right.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, and some sad things happened yesterday. Of course, with at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, where New York City police officer Stephen McDonald, passed away. I think 30 years ago he was shot by a teenager and left paralyzed. But he's quite an inspiration to the New York Rangers. That's a tie in the hockey. And he was a lifelong fan of the Rangers, which is back in '86. He got paralyzed, like I said, on patrol in Central Park. But he forgave the guy. That's not easy, but he did, and that's sort of cool. And the Rangers, I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this.
An award?
Yeah, they have an award for him that's been given out at their last home game every season since '87-'88.
Yeah.
So they have an award for the guy. The Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award is given to the player judged by the fans to go above and beyond the call of duty each season. So I think that's a really cool deal what the Rangers did. They were very they knew him very well.
Yeah.
A big Ranger fan, and it's one of those things. They had his wife and his son Connor there on the ice at the Ranger game. So, so let's see, Zaccarillo, you know him.
Yeah, Zuccarello. Yeah, Zuccarello.
And two-time winner of the Stephen McDonald.
Extra effort award. But it was nice to Messier and the Graves.
Adam Graves.
There. And,
they talked to him. They said gave some a talk there at the Ranger game, and I believe the eulogy too. Was that right? I think they may have done that too.
Okay.
Which is incredible. So. That's good when you see the National Hockey League, which is such a great organization, a great league. I think they're first class, and and they get involved in various things, and the teams do too. So you got to love when they contribute back to the community. I think that's class act, no doubt. Now you remember, you don't remember, but they had a nice article about Charlie Simmer.
Oh, okay.
And, of course, I remember Charlie Simmer because I was a big fan of the Triple Crown line.
Yeah.
Marcel Dion, Dave Taylor, who is my favorite player of all time.
It was an all-star game back in L.A. this year.
And Charlie Simmer. The thing about Charlie Simmer, I remember when they brought him up. Now, Dave Taylor was an upcoming star. Dion was a star, no question. Drafted, what position was he drafted, do you think?
Who?
That year,
Simmer?
Marcel.
Oh, Marcel, wasn't he like second or third?
Yeah, he was second. Who was first?
Lafleur?
Yeah. This guy.
You're good.
Yeah, how does he do that? I lived it. He wasn't even born.
Should be like on Sports Jeopardy or something.
Yeah, you should.
Because there was a thing with Lafleur where the L.A. and Montreal were battling, I believe, for that worst record, and Montreal made a trade with L.A., and L.A. picked up a pretty good player who helped them just squeak above. So, or wait.
I think Detroit
drafted Dion. But I think still there was a tie-in with I think it was Lafleur, I'm thinking
now, can you imagine because both players phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Lafleur and Marcel Dion. But if they decided on Dion, how many Stanley Cups he would have had?
Yeah. Oh, man.
But
both of them amazing.
And I used to watch them, and I remember when they brought up Charlie Simmer, this big, slow guy.
Yeah.
He was sort of slower than Luc Robitaille. But, boy, they were like magic. Have you ever seen this, Ed, in your professional career, where these players just click? They just click.
Yeah.
And these three clicked that first time out. And Charlie Simmer was wondering, should he stay in hockey? And he had incredible years. the second year after he brought up, he led the league in goals.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was phenomenal. That was probably one of the better lines, I don't know, can you say ever? Possibly.
What time frame was this?
79?
Early 80s? Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
It was January 13th, 79 that Charlie Simmer came up, and that's the Triple Crown line. And boy, wow. They were phenomenal. And
quite a mustache that Simmer had, too. It was fantastic.
Well, you had the skilled little Marcel Dion. Talking about little, he's maybe 5'8" at most. But
Simmer's
stocky,
mustache was taller.
Yeah, and he married Terry Wells, the Playboy Bunny, by the way.
Who, Dion?
No, Simmer.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Anyway.
See, those are the type of stats that Dave knows.
Yeah, right away.
You have the statistics and things like that.
And I have more stats on Terry Wells, too, by the way.
And Simmer, of course, spent time here as the
commentator.
Color commentator, yeah.
Now he's
and he did
Calgary.
some coaching, too, with youth. I'd see him around sometimes.
So he was truly amazing. Dave Taylor, truly incredible career, no doubt. Dion was just the natural superstar. Dave Taylor, at maybe 6 feet, had the heart. He always got in the battles, but not the best fighter in the world at all. but certainly had the heart.
I'm going to have to start paying more attention. I hear you guys talking about 6 feet. 6 feet. And all this time in my head, I'm thinking, like I said, the guys were so much bigger. I'm going to have to start paying more attention to now 6 foot. I'm not saying 6 foot isn't big, but when I'm just thinking they look so much bigger.
Some are, but I believe I'll have to look it up, but I believe the average size is in that range.
Because if you think about it, quarterback at 6 foot is too small. They won't even like your Drew Breeses, people. They don't even get consideration.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Doug Flutie, remember?
Flutie,
he didn't quite make it.
Flutie, he had a good career. For his size.
Then he go.
He went to the USFL.
That's
he was in the Canadian Football League. That's right. Yeah, he had a good career.
Yeah. But Simmer scored 48 points that year in 78-79, the fourth leading scorer. But the next season he finished. He was just in the AHL, or no, it wasn't called that back then, but whatever it was, the minor league.
Right.
But he was in a three-way tie with Danny Gare, Buffalo Sabres, you may remember him, and Blaine Stoughton of the Hartford Whalers, led the league with 56 goals. That's a remarkable situation there. Yeah. And, of course, the high point for the Triple Crown line when Dion, Simmer, and Taylor combined for 161 goals in 80-81, and the Kings had 99-point season. Now, Montreal was in their division at the time.
Yeah.
How is that possible, by the way?
Yeah, when I look back at old books
silly.
And stuff, it is amazing how the divisions were set up at one point there.
Very cool stuff, though. But that brought back good memories because if you wanted to see a magical line, you don't see it very often. But but quarterback to receiver, you're going to see some, like the Niners, right?
Joe Montana and
Jerry Rice, right? So you're going to see that sometimes, and it's like they just click. You just don't know why, right?
But sometimes it's just working together and getting to know each other, and basically like an old married couple being able to finish each other's sentences. You get, you do develop those type of relationships with guys like that.
That's right. If you're married long enough, you can finish the sentence, you are a son. No, I'm kidding, of course. But that does happen. Yeah. On our other show today, we had this guest. I forgot his name. But he wrote a book about, like, comparing men and women or guys with dogs. Like, they're trainable. Like, if you, like, dogs just love you for just loving you. And so he's suggesting, I didn't read the book yet, but that women should act like that and train their guy. And if the guy knew the reward, maybe he would obey, right? It sounded funny. Okay, it was funnier when he described it. But it is interesting. I have to get the name of the book. So, anyway.
I'd be interested in checking that one out.
I think it's going to be a movie, too, which might be pretty interesting. So, anyway, tonight there's a bunch of games. Saturdays is always a bunch of games on.
We had some matinee action earlier. We talked about briefly how the Bruins 6-3 win over the Flyers. And so the Flyers had finally broken their losing streak. They win one, but now lose again to a conference rival like that. So it's
a shocker.
Tough
Avalanche.
Situation. Yeah, they're winning. But yeah. So
it was 2-7. Right before my eyes, it says 2-1 now.
Yeah. But
Predators.
Right, but looking at this, so it's big for the Bruins. I mean, both these teams, staying in the playoff picture there. And so for the Bruins, getting 6 goals, sort of lighting it up there. Brad Marchand got his 16th goal, a shorthander, and 2 goals, also a 17th. But kind of looking at it from a Flyer standpoint, Wayne Simmons with his 18th goal and Braden Shen 15, 1-2, and goals on the Flyers.
Shen leads the league in power play goals, I believe.
Does he?
At 11. So boy, two ex-Kings.
Yeah, and the Mike Richards deal. So those guys playing well, Flyers, if they can get the rest together. I mean, there's definitely talent there and some good young defensemen as well, and so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, as Dave was mentioning with the Avalanche, what's funny, Cody McLeod scores the Predators' goal. He was traded last night from Colorado to Nashville.
Led the league in major penalties, I believe.
Was it? Yeah.
Fighting majors.
Only a second goal of the year, but against his former team.
It's got to feel good.
Former team yesterday. And in Colorado. And for the Avalanche, Francois Beauchemin has his first goal of the year, and also their captain, Gabriel Landeskog, who got his 8th goal, subject of a lot of trade rumors. And so nice for him there, getting his 8th. He's playing a bit better now.
There are going to definitely be some March 1st is the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So are you looking for a lot of certainly the Avalanche and probably the Coyotes will be.
Yeah.
I think Hansel may be gone. Rabada maybe.
Well, definitely, yeah. Hansel, Stone, possibly. Because you look at the Reynolds, those guys for sure with both of these teams should be out. When you look at guys like Landeskog and Matt Duchene with Colorado, these are young guys under contract. You don't trade them to trade them. But if you could do something to kind of reshape things, they're definitely considering.
Now, maybe Ed has a question on that. When Greg says Reynolds, have you heard that term in other sports?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with contract, they have a friendly, either the team that you're with, they're basically trying to dump your contract. The other team knows, we might not be able to sign him, but we'll bring him in. He could help us this year. Yeah. It's like a short-term, basically a short-term lease.
Yeah, because these guys are, free agents at the end of the year, and sometimes their new teams may sign them after the season and whatnot. And some guys sometimes go back to their old teams or just test free agency with other teams.
Kept doing that, right? St. Louis back to Atlanta.
And the Coyotes have seen that with some guys. But, looking at that with the Coyotes, Martin Hansel's name is big time out there.
Yeah.
Other Pacific Division, L.A. and San Jose have been calling. They want Hansel, but I don't think Here's the thing. Even though he would probably sign somewhere at the end of the year anyways, so in that regard, maybe he could get traded in division where they don't ask for a ton more than they would with other teams. But there's teams everywhere that will want Marty Hansel.
Oh, yeah.
And the risk with the Coyotes, you want to wait up the offers. On the other hand, because he gets injured a lot, you don't want him to get hurt and go, oh, no, now we can't
You're right. That's a
make
dilemma,
a move.
Isn't it?
So Chaika has
if they get the right deal, though, he'll be gone before. If they get the right deal. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing. They got to get the proper asset.
A big center iceman, every team wants one of those.
Yeah, and the Coyotes, the talk, I think Elliot Friedman mentioned, the rumbling is the Coyotes would like a young NHL-ready center in exchange, which would be tough. But on the other hand, there's teams out there that will really want him that will say, you know what, it's worth it to give up the bounty.
That's right. So we'll see what happens, and we are live from Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street. Come on down. It used to be called City North. What a great restaurant this is. Great food. We're here till 4. You said, Ed, they're open till 11
o'clock.
Wow, you're going to have some fun here. High Street's a lot of fun anyway. So come on down, enjoy the fun, and see a live remote broadcast. Real Hockey Talk. We'll be right back after these words.
Every Monday through Friday, turn your dials to NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 from 2 to 3 p.m. as Uncle Buck, Shot Dog, and Polecat bring you for the love of the game.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk / Breakthrough Sports live at Kona Grill, located at 5310 East High Street. Used to be called City North, and now it's called, I believe it's called High Street.
That it is.
And Kona Grill is a fabulous place. Come on down here. And we are honored. And now joining us, Bob Thielen, Kona Grill's general manager. Bob, how are you?
Very good, Dave. Thank you for having me.
You have a great radio voice, by the way.
Well, I appreciate that. I must have missed my calling.
Silky smooth.
I think we're going to be switching jobs. I'm going to be the GM here. I won't last very long.
You know what, Dave? I'll trade you. Let's go.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about the Kona Grill. I've been to the Chandler one, fabulous,
sure.
Scottsdale, and I've been here once as well, and I'll be coming back here because I'm actually closer now to this one. This is a fabulous location.
Thank
and
you.
I love the blue lights behind me and the big screen TVs. You got everything.
It really gives you nice highlights, Dave. Let me tell you. You look great.
Right.
You know, Kona Grill, this store in particular has been here for 9 years right now. And there's actually, a lot of people don't know this, but this is a homegrown company.
Oh, is it really?
Started in Scottsdale. Wow. And believe it or not, there's 45 restaurants now across the country.
Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, 9. So when this one's been here 9 years old.
Yes.
But when did the company start, actually?
It was in the early 80s. Yeah.
Wow.
Or early 90s, I'm sorry. Early 90s.
So there's 45 Kona
45
Grills.
now, and we continue to grow. We've got our 5th location in the Phoenix area is going to be opening in the quarter down in Scottsdale.
Nice place.
And that's going to be in the first quarter of this year, so we're looking forward to that.
Wow.
But we're very, very happy on how things are going, and they continue to grow.
That is fabulous because, the restaurant industry is highly competitive. But there's always something unique about Kona Grill. I mean, I've been going there since, it must be 10, 15 years ago. When did Chandler open?
Chandler, I believe, is 11 years now.
Yeah, that's where I went most of the time. And, boy, the
macadamia nut chicken is, of course, one of our signature dishes. In fact, you guys should get one today, I'll tell you.
I was dreaming about that. I mean, it's that good. And congratulations to who the chefs are. That
very talented.
This is fabulous food.
Very talented.
Dave's eyes light up when he talks.
When he talks food.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, one of the things that's different about Kona is, first of all, it's a scratch kitchen. We're making everything from scratch back there. There's no bags in boxes or anything like that. So, the chefs that work here and for our company are just that. They are chefs, and
Incredible.
They do a fantastic job. One of the other things that sets us apart is we have all different types of food. You could have a party of 20, Dave, and come in, and you've had maybe 2 people that like sushi, and you don't disappoint those people because the other folks that come in, they can get steaks, they can get salads, anything, fresh fish.
Even sandwiches, too.
Sandwiches, too.
Amazing. It really is unique, and it has a nice, diverse menu, which is part of your trademark.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, here, the other thing is it's not just diverse, it's good.
Oh, I appreciate it.
It's high quality.
I've been to places before where they've had a huge menu and assortment.
Yeah.
And everything either tastes the same or it doesn't. Just when you go to Kona Grill, and the one I usually go to over the last few years has been the one down at Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Sure. Fashion Square, you bet.
Yeah, Fashion Square. This is now my new main Kona home. But
Me too.
when you eat at Kona, when you eat at Kona, you're definitely getting a quality meal.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And, most of the stores, too, participate in a lot of different things. Wednesday in particular, if you come down, it's half-price bottles of wine. So
nice.
any wine that we have on the menu, except I think for one, is half price. So and also, too, we've incorporated in this store, we've got live music on our back patio. So that's very cool.
Nice.
You bet.
That is good.
Yeah.
So you got different types of, are there any bands or solo artists?
Solo artists, usually acoustic, ranging from the 70s to today.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So come on down. The patio is great for sitting back there, especially when the weather gets a little bit warmer, just a touch.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I have a feeling that because of the Cubs winning the World Series, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of Cub fans here this year.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. During spring training.
Looking
It's going
forward
to be
to
a party.
It.
Oh,
you better believe it.
I was here. I just remembered a networking event I had here.
Sure. Probably with the Chamber or something like that.
Actually, I think it was it the Phoenix Metro Chamber?
Yeah.
It may have been.
Yep.
But it was a great place, the patio out there, to have that event. So it's do you still do that? Do you have events coming up?
We
like
do,
that?
yeah, we do, and then we're going to be starting that back up, because this is the busy time for us now.
Oh.
So we try not to bring in too much of
Sure.
extra stuff because there's so many folks in the Valley that are coming, and I don't want to disappoint them in any way. So, but we'll definitely make time to have you guys back for sure.
Oh, yeah, this is really, really awesome. And so you're known for your happy hour. What are the times of your happy hour?
Happy hour usually starts up at 3 o'clock, and it goes until 11, and that's Monday through Thursday.
Well, that's a lot. That's a big time frame.
Yeah,
that's good.
So, wait, it starts at 3, goes till 7. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was thinking about something.
That's still a big time frame.
I got that confused with Sunday because Sunday is all day happy hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the moment we open until we close. So, yeah, if you're going to come down for happy hour, Sunday's the day.
That's like one of the best kept secrets in the Valley.
Yeah.
Please tell
I'm
people.
glad,
Please.
It's no longer a secret.
Yeah,
Everyone's
you
hearing
start spreading the word
Amazing.
about that one.
But usually Monday through Thursday, it's 3 to 7, and then we have a reverse from 9 to 11.
Oh,
All right?
excellent.
So, yeah, and then Fridays, of course, 3 to 7, and then we start back up at 10 and go till 12.
So on Sunday, talk about that a little bit. What the happy hour includes?
Well,
drinks,
there's
I suspect?
a ton of different food, from sushi to flatbreads to sandwiches to sliders, and then many of our sushi rolls are on that also.
Oh, wow,
So,
that's
and
really
then, of course,
even better.
drink specials to go along with that. We have Sam Adams on tap here, and that's a great seller for us.
That is just fantastic. There's no doubt about that. And you have, let's see, you can sign up at KonaGrill.com for a free app and a birthday surprise.
Free app
What
and
is
a
a
birthday
surprise?
surprise.
If I said it was my birthday, what surprise would I get?
Dave, you're gonna get a great meal. Let me tell you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. So you get to
a free
choose.
meal?
Yeah, it's up to $15, and you get to choose anything that you'd like. So
That is very
and that's all
generous.
free. So just all you have to do is sign up on KonaGrill.com, go to the Konavore program, and you'll be able to jump right in.
That's
Man,
really nice.
That is very unique, too, because
It is.
I don't think most places have that type of generosity.
Well, we think after you taste it for the first time, that means you're going to be back. So that's what we're shooting
That's
for.
right. There's no doubt. Sort of like hockey in a way. You go to a hockey game.
Right, yeah.
Or a potato chip. But
Absolutely.
no, we don't want to compare potato chips. But hockey is similar. You go and you fall in love with it. So what else? I mean, how long have you been here?
I've been with Kona going on 6 years now.
Nice.
And I've been in the restaurant business a long time, and for me to find a home like this at this time is fantastic, and it's a great company to work for. Just because everything is set, we're so excited with the people that we have working for us. We're in great locations, not only in the Phoenix area, but across the country.
Is it privately held still, right?
No, this is a public company.
Public, okay.
Yeah, it's under Kona. Yeah,
Man,
so
that's
jump
so
in,
cool.
please.
Wow. Get your stock right now.
That's right.
So I understand you're a big football fan.
I am.
And who's your team?
The Green Bay Packers.
Packer fan.
Is that going to make anybody upset here?
No, not at all. Ed and I were talking earlier in the show that we feel that Green Bay can upset Dallas, and they possibly could probably meet, I'm predicting probably the Patriots, in the Super Bowl.
Well, I'll tell you, the season that they've had this year has had the ups and downs. When they went through that 4-game losing streak, I thought there was no way that we were going to get into the playoffs. But then Aaron, of course, had to open his mouth and say, we're going to run the table.
And he did.
And he did. And I'll tell you what, if they can control Zeke and Dax, I think that they got a shot.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, fellas, this right here, this game tomorrow night, this is my Super Bowl. So whatever happens, I'm good.
Two great teams. I mean,
they really
doubt.
are.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of Dallas friends. They've been giving me a lot of grief because they really didn't want to play us.
I don't blame them.
How did you get your Green Bay affiliate? Are you from the area?
I've got a place up in Door County, Wisconsin, which is just a little bit north of Green Bay. My son was born in Green Bay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now here's the weird thing. I was actually born in the Chicago area, so the 1985 Bears are, of course, are near and dear to my heart. Also, but
you're like a dual citizen.
I am. Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. But so you were born in Chicago.
I was, yeah.
And then when did you move to Wisconsin?
We've got property up there. We've had property up there for over 150 years.
Oh, wow.
So, and we still do to this day, and it's one of the great places that we love to go back and visit. So,
oh man,
Dave was around when that property was originally purchased.
I think I sold it to you.
I think I saw you there. I saw you there as
Yeah.
a young child. Yes.
I've been to Wisconsin once.
Okay.
I'm a CPA and a business consultant as well as what we do here. And a client flew me up there to check out a few things. And I guess it shows my ignorance, but I had no idea where Wisconsin was. And I thought it was like a quick trip, like behind Utah.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the map. I go, wow, this is far. It's almost near Toronto.
That is so
and
funny.
I go, wow, I'm on this plane. And then I get off. It goes Chicago, an hour away.
Yeah.
And I go,
Yeah.
what? I'm out here?
Yeah.
I was shocked. And the thing is, I wasn't used to the parking arrangement because I'm from California and I live here. Mm-hmm. And it says no parking from March to like July or something. I go, what is this?
Yeah, because they'll bury your car. That's what'll happen.
It was weird, but I got lost many times. I just couldn't figure out the landscape.
There's a lot of open space out there.
Yeah, but it was cool. I go, what's that ocean doing? And it was one of the lakes.
Lake Michigan, yeah.
That's a big place, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
It's cool.
I do.
I love Wisconsin. I've been all through it.
Oh, really?
Well, you probably played at Lambeau, didn't you?
I didn't, but I played 9 years minor league baseball
For the
right out
Brew
of high
Crew.
school. I was with the Brewers
Yeah.
and the White Sox. I was actually in the Midwest League. And
Outstanding.
We went everywhere from Kenosha up to Madison and Wausau.
Yeah.
So
A lot of good bratwurst up there.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
The architecture is sort of interesting, right?
Well, I guess. I don't know.
It's different.
Yeah.
From what
I would just go out in the forest. I didn't hang around the
really?
architecture that much. Yeah. I'm a big fisherman, so I would do a lot of
Oh,
fishing
really?
up there.
Where do you fish here?
Oh, I shouldn't probably say this, but, Arizona, especially the Phoenix area, has some of the best bass fishing in the country,
Really?
and no one knows about it.
Oh,
I'd be
I
happy
know
to
that.
take you out
Okay.
sometime.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
it's fantastic.
You got to keep that a secret.
Yeah.
You don't want everybody finding your hole.
and it good, you cook it and all that?
I usually don't keep them because
Okay.
I fish in tournaments, so I just as soon not
Really?
eat some money if I can let
Yeah.
it back, and I might
But-
catch it again.
Yeah.
So during a tournament.
Tournament. So
yeah.
tell us about that's a sport too.
Well, sure it is.
How
yeah.
does that work? How do you become a good fisherman?
Well, I've been fishing since I've been about 2 years old, so a lot of it is luck, and a lot of it is just kind of knowing. There's times where I'll throw out my line, and just because if I see a tick or a little pop, I know that there's a fish on. So it just takes a little time. That's all.
Wow. And
Patience too.
Yeah, a lot of
A lot of
patience.
patience.
Yeah.
I'm a very patient man. Let me tell you.
that is very cool. Now, have you done well in these tournaments?
We've done fine. Yeah, there's no doubt. Otherwise, my wife wouldn't let me continue to do it. So.
And you get like, what's the
Oh,
rewards?
there's payouts.
Wow.
Yeah, there's payouts. In fact, some of the fellas that I fish with have won some of the major tournaments this year. So I'm very envious of them. Yeah, and in fact, I've got a place up in Pine Top, and there's a fella that fishes up there that did really, really well. So next time I'm up there, I'm going to stop in and say hi to him.
That is very cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
very cool.
You don't hear too much. Well, I think ESPN or some of the shows will have.
Yeah, they
and I've seen
broadcast
some of
those,
that.
yeah.
Sort of interesting. You got to really know what's going on.
Well, I think NBC was promoting it for a long time too. I'd be watching it. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
on the channel. Sure.
that's right. Very cool stuff. Wow. So, when did you start doing tournaments?
When we moved out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we moved out here, I fished with my son, and he is quite a fisherman. He's much better than I am.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he had dreams of becoming a professional fisherman, and then three children came up, and then that kind of
Oh, I thought you said the perfect storm came up.
that is kind of the perfect storm.
Oh, wow. That's
So yeah, he's got his hands full right now.
man. Yeah, that does happen, no doubt about it. That's pretty exciting. So, do you get a good football crowd on Sundays here?
You know what we do? At Saturday's game too. It looks like it just started too. So
It did.
The game tonight will be a lot busier in here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the game tonight will be a lot busier.
Oh, Patriots and
Now the
Houston.
big question is, where will you watch?
I'll be right here
You'll be here
because
watching?
we're going to be busy. Yeah.
Okay.
Now tomorrow, that's another thing. I'm going to be up in Pine Top sitting and watching.
That's
that
what I mean.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
that's,
cool.
That's the one I was asking.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'll be up there and I'll be sitting there and watching that game. I try to watch it, just my wife and I, because I don't want to scare the grandchildren.
Oh yeah,
things aren't going right.
Yeah. I've been there.
Now, how far is Pine Top?
Pine Top's 3 hours from my place.
Wow,
So,
and that you go through Payson, I believe, right?
that's one way to go, and the Salt River Canyon's the other way.
Oh, really?
So it depends on the weather sometimes, but since I'm this far north, I'm going to go Payson this time.
Is there snow up there?
There's going to be, and I'm a little bit nervous because they're calling for some freezing rain. But I brought the four-wheeler with me today.
Oh,
so
wow,
I'll be
really?
all right. Yeah.
Wow, so you're going to leave tonight, probably?
Tonight after work, yeah.
Oh, cool. And you're open till 11, right?
Tonight we're actually open till 12. 12 tonight, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a good.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm not here that long.
Yeah.
That's
a bit of a.
It's going to be a long ride.
Wow, that is cool. So you're going to watch both games tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to have me do much except just kind of sit and relax. I'm hoping.
So your wife,
listening,
she likes football too, or
she is a Packer fan. I'll tell you. Yeah, and she wasn't always like that, but hearing me yell and scream all these years, we've been married 37 years this year.
Is that right? You look like really young to be married. That
she keeps me young. How's
that
sound?
I think it sounds great, actually. That is really phenomenal. That's a good day for you tomorrow.
It really is. I'm excited.
Wow. So do you bring like some food from Kona Grill? And
Well, in my earlier career in the restaurant business, I was a chef, so I do most of the cooking. Her and I have a good relationship. She cleans and I cook, and it works really, really well.
So she'll clean the kitchen after you
Yeah,
cook?
after I'm done.
I love that part.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's perfect.
Yeah.
That's why we've been married so long. It's
yeah.
great.
That is really cool. So,
now,
go ahead.
There is something that's always been on my mind, though, about Packer fans.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever watched the show How I Met Your Mother. Great show.
Absolutely.
In the last season of the show, Marshall, played by Jason Segel, who's a big Vikings fan, when they're taking a road trip trying to get to Barney's wedding, they stop in Green Bay, and they're in that store, and there's the music going, but if you don't have, like, a cheese head on or any Packers gear, like, the music stops, and everyone's, like, looking at them like they want to be. I mean, is it that intense in some ways
it can
up there?
Be. Yeah,
okay.
it can. And here's a really funny story. My brother called me the other day. He lives in Door County, and he got picked for season tickets for Lambeau.
Wow.
And you know how tough that can be. Yeah.
Oh.
So he calls me up and he says, Bob, I've got tickets for last week's game. Can you come out? And, of course, we had our conference, our Kona conference for all the GMs.
That's right.
And I was not able to go. But what a game to be able to see. And, you know, the people that go to those games when it's sub-zero, it's amazing.
Well, the thing about an organization like the Packers, it's generational.
Yes.
That's right.
For some of those families, the minute a baby is born, they put them on the waiting list. So by the time they're old enough, they'll be eligible to get tickets. It's
amazing.
It's very, you can run through a couple organizations like Steelers, Packers,
Boston, Red Sox, for sure.
Red Sox,
Probably
right.
Toronto, right?
Bears, certain organizations, they like I said, they're generational. We lose that out here a little bit because everything's so transient, and
people
a lot
from
of
everywhere.
Yeah, you go into the Green Bay Stadium, you're going to see nothing but green and yellow. There's not a whole lot of other teams' colors in there. So. Well,
I got to tell you, the Arizona Cardinals, since I've been out here for so long, that's really kind of my second team. Mm-hmm. And, I've got a couple of great Larry Fitzgerald stories, and what a great human being he is.
Nice. Yeah.
And every time I see him, he just amazes me with some of the stuff that he does. And he used to do a lot of catering. We used to do catering for the Cardinals, and I'd be the one driving the food down. And, just an amazing group, and I wish them a better season this year, but it just
Tough
wasn't meant
season.
to be.
Yeah. We through an entertainment show we have, I covered the Kentucky Derby. And that doesn't sound right, does it? Should be the sports show. But anyway,
I was going to say.
I think it was a sports show, actually.
Sure, the horses.
Let's cross that out.
Sports entertainment.
It is a sport, a very little, big sport. But we know someone actually. What do I call him? My son-in-law. No, son.
Your stepson.
Stepson, yeah, that's right. Okay, wow, if anyone's listening, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah,
But, my stepson, great guy, by the way. He does all these parties for all these events.
Sure.
And he did an after party for the Kentucky Derby, so we went down there. And guess who was there? Aaron Rodgers.
How about that?
I got to interview him. What a nice guy he is. I mean, he's just sort of low-key and just so humble. I mean, this guy's a superstar. And I really enjoyed talking with him.
Yeah, he's amazing to watch. And what he did last weekend was the third Hail Mary. That was incredible.
Oh, man, is he something else? Hey, how's is Nelson?
He's not playing.
No, he's ruled out.
Yeah.
How is that going to affect, do you think?
Well, it sure doesn't help. That's for sure. Yeah.
that is
I think Aaron's going to he'll do it, spreading it around now.
I think so.
I know Jordy's his go-to, but
yeah.
I think one of the factors is because the injury happened so early in the game last week, and they finished it off well. They played without him basically the whole second half and part of the first. I think that was beneficial for them because they had a chance to, kind of see what life without Jordy was going to be like.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they need my help, I'm helping. I'll be suiting up for them. That's for sure.
Now, did you play football?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, you bet.
Oh, where? High school, college?
Wheaton North High School in Illinois.
Wow. And what position? Yeah.
In Chicago, yeah.
What position did you
I played center and linebacker.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which one did you like better?
Well, the one where I got to start, so that was center.
Both tough positions, right?
You know what? There was a couple of guys that came out of my high school. Chuck Long, who played for Iowa.
Wow.
And then went on. And then Kent Graham, that played actually for the Cardinals, came out of my high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think next week, right, we're going to have Ed.
My nephew's going to come on next week. He's a freshman in Alabama.
A true freshman on Alabama. Wow. A true freshman.
How big
How do you
is
make
that?
the team, an Alabama team, as a true freshman?
That's amazing.
Tight end, just like his uncle and his daddy.
Yeah.
Irv Smith, Ed's brother, played, the Niners?
Yeah, well, he was with the Saints, Niners, and the Browns.
Yeah. Came out of Notre Dame. First round, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I had the heart, but I just didn't have this. I needed this to go with it.
It is tough, right? You've told us.
I'm paying for it as the years go by more and more.
Yeah. I wonder how that will impact. We only have a minute or two left for the segment, but the future of the NFL. I mean, with all the concussions and controversy a bit, is it going to affect it at all in the future?
There's no way around it. The NFL will continue their campaign to show the improvements in the game, but it's a violent game. There is no way around that.
Yeah.
And,
it's wicked.
A lot of mothers are going to be hesitant to send their boys out there.
Yeah. Me,
myself, if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely do it all over again. I would just do some things differently.
Gotcha. Like maybe play tackle when you're in high school?
Less quarter zone shots.
Oh.
Things of that nature.
Gotcha.
When you're hurt, don't go out there. But, we were urged to, what the old saying was, you're not going to make the club in the tub. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never heard that one, but that makes sense, doesn't it? That's amazing. So, that because you hear that a lot. It's pretty high up in the news where maybe start your kid in high school for tackle versus Pop Warner, for example.
Yeah, that's what my brother did with my nephew. He didn't play any organized football leading up to high school.
Wow.
Once he got to high school, my brother says, "Your decision, go for it," and that's what he pursued, and obviously it's been great for him to this point.
All my grandkids are in flag football right now, but they're
sense.
all very, very small. Mm-hmm. But boy, they're starting to learn the game, and who knows what's going to happen. So,
which is really, really good. And wow, so coming up, we have Ruben Paul going to join us at 3, just a few minutes from now, and Bob Thielen, GM Kona Grill. This is really, truly a fabulous restaurant.
Thank you.
You gotta. Do you love this location?
I do. I love the location. I love the people that come in here, and I love the staff that I work with.
Peter's a great guy, by the way.
Peter's a great man.
I met him first, and really,
there's no doubt about it.
Accommodating service is everything. I mean, you could have all the great food you want, the great environment, but if you don't have the service,
that's true.
And that's probably a credit to you as a GM.
Well, not to me. I just try to keep things going in a straight line.
Well, it looks like you're doing a great job.
Thank you,
it's a great atmosphere.
I appreciate it.
And it is getting to be packed a bit here.
It's going to be a show. Yeah.
Wow. One thing we were curious about is are those condominiums or apartments?
Those are condos that people purchase.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that's the kind of the lure of High Street is that you can live on all the stuff that's below it. So you got like a little city that you can come to.
Wow.
It is nice.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
It is sort of
unique.
cool. Do you know how much they cost?
I don't know. I know I
Thinking
can't.
about buying
Names in the market. Yeah.
No, it's probably pretty expensive. I know City North has gone through some transformations over the years, but I think it's cooking now, isn't it?
Well, there's some great restaurants here.
Yeah.
You know, the comedy club that you talked about.
Good place.
There's a talk of a lot of other things coming in.
Oh.
And of course, I can't talk about those. But it's going to be a happening spot.
It is happening. It's unique. I love this type of environment here and the way they've organized it. And I think the parking's good, too. I'm just in the lot over there.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
I've never had a problem parking here, ever. So it's
Not
a good deal. And so, Bob, it's been an honor and a pleasure. This has been really such a great experience for us to be here and enjoy all your hospitality. And we encourage people, come on down here right now. You're open till 12 tonight, and that's 5310 East High Street. You won't regret it. The food itself is great, but then you got TVs going on, you got the sushi bar, and the great service, and the general manager of the year. We got Bob.
I appreciate that.
Well,
Thanks,
fisherman
fellas.
of the year, we could say.
Well, I'd rather have that, yeah.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Pleasure, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bob.
Fellas, have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. So this is, we're having a bunch of fun here. This is such a great location to be at. We could see people coming through the door. We can have a lot of fun. And I'm watching TV, but I'm not telling you the score.
There's no way I can't not see it. So.
Yeah.
And there's some delicious food on the way.
Oh, on the way, and this is
Soon.
great. So stay tuned for Ruben Paul coming right up at 3 o'clock. We're at Kona Grill, 5310 East High Street, Suite 101. Come on down, have some good food, fun, and watch NBC remote broadcast. We'll be right back after this break.
NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Breakthrough. I was going to say Breakthrough Thinking, but it's Breakthrough Sports. And we're live at, of course, Kona Grill at 5310 East High Street in Phoenix. Come on down, and we're having a lot of fun here. It's such a great place. We got sports going on. I see hockey. I see football. But guess what? We have a special honor to have one of the funniest guys going to be at the House of Comedy tonight, right?
Yes.
And Sunday, too. We got Ruben Paul. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here in Phoenix. A little depressed that my Raiders got knocked out of the playoffs, but I'm going to enjoy these games anyway.
Did you meet Ed, who's a former NFL player?
I just met Ed, and I looked at his beautiful ring over there.
That's what I love about it. Look at that. Super Bowl.
It's modern and up to date.
Yeah. Every year they update it. No, not really.
Who'd you win that with?
The Falcons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We lost to Denver, but I call it my little consolation prize. They gave us a little something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's not actually a Super Bowl ring.
We were in the Super Bowl.
I remember that's the year my man got caught in.
Yeah, exactly.
Your man got caught.
Oh, yeah. I remember that story.
Everybody remembers that.
Yeah. Oh, man. You guys had a good team that year, man. But even though Minnesota should have actually beat you guys that year, but you guys did a good job.
We fought them. Well, that was a dog fight.
That was a great game, man.
Nobody expected us to even be in there.
Yeah. Congratulations,
You got a good
man.
memory, too. Yeah, that was.
I'm a sports fanatic,
okay.
man. Comedy and sports
But
is
you
my
look
thing.
too young to remember all that.
I'm an encyclopedia, man. Ever since I was a kid, I would always just watch highlights, NFL films. I was that kid. I was always Googling, what do you know? You weren't even born when that happened. I'm like, I looked it up. I read about it.
California born and raised?
California born and raised.
Carson, California.
Yes,
I know exactly where. I grew up in L.A., so I know where that is. And what I was reading about you, and it was really cool. You were Carson is known as one of the diverse cities in L.A.
Yeah.
And it says you grew up in an all-black neighborhood, went to an all-Mexican high school, went to an all-white church, and shopped at a lot of Asian stores.
Yes, that sounds about right.
That is so cool, right?
Well, I think it really helped shape me as a person and shape my comedy. When you interact with a lot of different races and cultures, you learn to have a respect for other people. And I'm glad that I've had those experiences, and I just didn't grow up in a what do they call it, in a shell, like where you're just only around one group of people. And that's one thing that sports does for you too.
Yeah.
When you join a team, you have people from all different walks of life that come into a locker room for one common goal.
That's right.
And that's one thing that I've always loved about sports in general, and just being around all different types of people.
How did you get into comedy? Like, how was your direction to get into comedy?
Well, I remember as a kid I saw Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Yeah.
And that changed my life. Where as a kid I probably didn't understand all of it, but I remember laughing so hard I was in tears. And my parents are immigrants from Haiti, so they didn't really understand comedy and what it was. But that's when the seed was planted. And in school, I was always known like as the class clown or the funny guy. And then when I went to college, my theater teacher asked me, like, hey, have you ever thought of doing comedy? I was like, what, I'm a bad actor? She's like, no, you're a really good actor, actually. And she says, but you have this comedic timing that's really natural. And I was like, well, actually, I have thought about it. Then, long story short, I had a buddy who knew this lady who ran a comedy night in the hood at Birdland West. And D.L. Hughley, who's one of the kings of comedy, was the host. Oh, yeah. And I went in, and I did 5 minutes, and it went well. He kind of took me under his wing, and then the rest is history.
Wow. And you've been Late Show with Craig Ferguson, Lopez Tonight, Russell Peters, and a whole bunch of stuff like that. That's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, especially working with Russell Peters the last couple of years. For those who don't know him, he's literally probably the biggest comedian in the world. He tours internationally, sells out arenas from Australia to South Africa to the Middle East. I mean, and he saw me at the Laugh Factory, and he was like, hey, man, I think you're really funny. We started working together. Then he took me on tour. And what's great about him, every country we've gone to, a lot of them have brought me back to do my own headlining shows there. He's been very helpful and instrumental in doing that.
Jamie Foxx, George Lopez, Cedric the Entertainer, pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to have great mentors. I just worked with George Lopez last week in Pleasanton, California, not too far from Oakland. So he was one of the mentors. But when I was doing comedy only 6 months, I went on tour with Jamie Foxx. I literally went from open mics to 2,000 seat theaters. Wow. And all the other comedians like, how in the hell did you pull that off? It was just a timing thing, and I learned a lot, both good and bad. That's helped me through my career navigate through it.
Do you have a favorite comedy club that you performed at?
Besides the House of Comedy?
There you go.
No, but I love working for Rick Bronson.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. Has a great club, a class act. I think a club that's special to me is the San Francisco Punchline.
Oh, okay.
Just because a lot of legends have worked there, and that's the first club to ever headline me. Was the San Francisco Punchline. So it's kind of a home thing. But the Laugh Factory in L.A. is my home base.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best clubs in the country also.
So who's your favorite comedian? Or who influenced you maybe long ago?
Well, I mean, obviously when you talk about comedy for me, like the Mount Rushmore is Richard Pryor.
Oh, yeah.
Funny. George Carlin are 1 and 2. All the rest of them are debatable. But in modern times...
Gary Shandling, maybe?
Who was a friend, rest in peace.
Oh, that was sad. And I saw him in Manhattan Beach one day.
Yeah, I work at the Comedy Magic Club. Is that what you're talking about? In Hermosa Beach. That's where it is.
First time I saw this guy was, I thought, so underrated. The funniest guy. Then I saw him a second. It was Joan Rivers, I think. But he was... not the headliner, but the first guy.
Yeah, the opener.
And I go, this guy is better than Jones. But, but he was hysterical, right?
He was great. He was awesome, man. He was awesome. So to be around people like that, but I think my modern day influence when I first started, I loved Mark Curry. Some of you guys may know from hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper.
He was one of the funniest guys. A cool story about him. how he came into prominence was he was opening up for Damon Wayans on the road as his opening act.
Okay.
Damon was about to shoot his first, maybe his second or third HBO special. He was already big by the time. No one knew who Mark Curry was. The people from HBO saw Mark Curry and was like, that guy needs a special.
Oh, wow.
And so, being from Southern California, me working a lot in the Bay Area, he was an influence. Martin Lawrence was another guy when I first started who was like an influence. But Richard Pryor and George Carlin are the two most that I idolize and admire, just for their wit, their social commentary, and just always being relevant, and told their stories.
Is that sort of your style,
would
you say? Okay.
I talk about my life a lot. I do a little observational stuff, but basically it's my experiences in day-to-day life, whether I'm talking about my experiences in traveling throughout China and doing comedy, or going to South Africa or Singapore or any of the places that I've been to tell those stories. And I think for the audience, it's kind of cool to see, man, this black dude been to all these places. Like, what is that like? Did they understand you? Do they speak English? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sort of wondering, in China, do they speak English?
Well, in China, to answer your question, they in a lot of foreign countries, they have huge expat communities. And an expat is when somebody leaves their home country to go somewhere else and work.
Oh, yeah.
So
gotcha.
There's thousands of Americans that live in China, so they look for entertainment too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's perfect.
When an American comes there, they just they're looking for a piece of home. So I built an audience that way over there, and some local Chinese come, some because of the internet and everything, they already speak English, and then some people come to the shows to actually learn English during my show.
Oh, wow.
Like sometimes you'll say a joke, and then you'll see somebody whispering.
Telling them.
You're like, what the hell is going on here? Like, hey, can you play 10? They're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm teaching her English. And you're like, oh, okay. So you make jokes about it. And
that's funny.
It's kind of cool because it brings everybody together once again.
Have you ever had to deal with a heckler, and how do you deal with them if so?
I mean, dealing with hecklers is a part of comedy.
Yeah.
A lot of hecklers think comedians like it. We actually hate it. I mean, it's fun when we're destroying you.
Yeah.
But, we have something prepared. We have something we want to say, so it kind of disrupts the show. But like we say, don't start none, won't be none.
There you go.
You're right.
If they start it, I'm going to finish it. And a lot of times they don't like it.
Yeah.
You're talking about expats in China. I think North Korea would be out of the question.
Well, I performed in Korea, but that
Not
was...
North Korea, though.
Not North Korea.
Yeah.
But I took a tour on the DMZ.
You did?
Yeah, but when I did Korea... That was a military tour. I went to perform for the U.S. military.
Oh, cool.
Not like when I go to China and just perform for the people who are living there.
Yeah.
But we went and performed at the DMZ for the soldiers there, and it was one of the most emotional shows we'd ever done. And it was at a time where North Korea had just threatened South Korea.
Oh, and did you? What I understand on the DMZ, they have from North. They're always have this big speaker and saying stuff.
Propaganda 24/7.
Yeah.
And when you go, you can see these buildings. It's literally like Disneyland, but they look beautiful, but nobody lives in them.
Wow.
But it's for the South Koreans to go, hey, life is good over there. But it's not
until you get over there.
Yeah, but it's like literally it's all like like a sound stage on a movie lot.
Really?
Yeah, like those homes aren't even inhabited. They're just like they look
to tease them.
To tease them, to make them think like, hey, come over here, life is good over here.
That is crazy. So you've been all over the world.
I've been blessed. Comedy has taken me all over the world, man.
Wow. What's your favorite place so far?
The most beautiful place that I've been to, other than Vancouver, which I think is beautiful, is South Africa. I love Cape Town. Cape Town, South Africa is beautiful.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's a great place.
So
New Zealand, too. New Zealand
I hear that's really beautiful.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. So House of Comedy, you started yesterday, I think.
We started on Wednesday, man.
Wednesday.
And, I mean, I'm honored. Like, the crowds have been coming out, and it's been a great turnout, and the response has been great. So it's
How
a great club.
How long are you in town
man.
this time?
I'm here until Monday. I leave Monday, so I have 2 shows tonight, and I have 1 on Sunday, and it's a great show, man.
Now, will you be back here soon again?
Yeah, I'll probably be here. I usually come like a year apart, depending on what Rick wants, and then my schedule. But after I leave here, I go to Vegas. But
you do?
Here. Yeah, I go to Vegas.
Where are you going to be performing there?
I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Vegas all next week.
Oh, yeah. Is that at the MGM?
Tropicana.
Tropicana?
Yeah, Brad Garrett's room is at the MGM.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
Do you have
cool.
your schedule up on your website?
Yes, my schedule is
yeah.
up on my website, so people can check it out. But, pound for pound, I really feel like this club here is one of the best clubs in the country, man.
Yeah. It's a great venue.
Great food.
It's beautiful inside, too.
Great food, beautiful ambiance, you know what I mean? The sound system, everything is great. Comedians love working for Rick because he knows how to, set the environment. Some comedy clubs you go to is like, who thought of this place? You know what I mean? It could have been in somebody's garage.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So what time are your shows tonight?
Shows tonight are 7:30 and 9:45, and then tomorrow night is 7 o'clock.
And this is at the House Factory, of course.
The House of Comedy.
I mean House of Comedy. Why did I say House?
You're getting Laugh Factory, House of Comedy.
Yeah. House of Comedy.
Now, I got a question. Do you have like a pregame ritual or anything you go through?
It's interesting you say that. Well, I play ball, so I just like to relax and listen to music.
Okay.
Kind of just chill out, formulate my thoughts. But then I like to be spontaneous, too, because it's a live show. And I like to react to what's ever happening, because that's what's great about coming to see somebody. You expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be formulaic and scripted all out. You know what I mean? You want to come if somebody yells out something or somebody laughs in a certain way, somebody drops a glass, you see somebody, chick walks in who, something. You know what I mean? You react to what's happening.
That is very. And
Dave couldn't be a comedian because he'd be stopping too much looking at the thing.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. That is so cool. How much does the audience impact you, or does audience impact you?
It impacts me a lot because I look at it as a partnership. I have my story. I have to say what they have to say, and I say what I have to say, but I want them to be involved, whether they agree or disagree, not necessarily vocally, but, you can get a sense of somebody like, that joke might have hit a little too close to home. And then somebody else might go, yeah, that's the truth, brother, preach, or whatever, whatever you might get. Or, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Now, like in sports where, you have a certain quarter that you didn't feel you performed, well enough, do you make adjustments as you go if the audience isn't?
Of course you make adjustments, but I think at the end of the day, all I can do is be me.
Yeah.
And you're not going to please everybody, but I think the good thing about my comedy is it's easily relatable. No matter what race you are, no matter where you came from, no matter what your economic background is, I think you can find some commonality in my set, in my material, because my story is just a human story.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it plays well all over the world, even though people might not know about American culture. They know about human beings. Everybody has a mom and a dad, a brother, a sister, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, no matter if you're in China or Africa or Australia,
So I suspect you have goals still. How high can you go, do you think?
I think sky's the limit. I think it's us who limit ourselves. I think, not to be corny, but if you dream it, you can achieve it.
I agree. I think that's a great attitude.
Yeah, and I've been doing this for a while, so some people might think, man, you haven't made it yet. But in comedy, 15 years is an overnight success. 20 years is overnight success.
Yeah.
So I think you just do what you love, do it the best way that you can, and then everything will come from that. I think if you work hard and do the right things, you ultimately get what you deserve.
So what would be considered, in your definition, success as a comedian? Would it be doing like funny movies, or would it be?
Kevin Hart, who's a friend. I mean, you see,
he's done really well.
He's obviously a huge success.
Yeah.
Like I said, George Lopez is a success, and a lot of guys. But you can't base success totally based on whether you're in movies or whether you're on TV shows. Because to be perfectly honest with you, some of the best comedians aren't on TV every week or aren't in movies every month. You know what I mean? So it's all relative. But for me, I do want to do more films and do more TV, and I have some opportunities that are coming up that I'm excited about. Wow. But, whether that happened or didn't happen, I wouldn't base my success on that. I just have more stories I want to share in those genres.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. Yeah, Kevin sort of, I remember him in, he had a very small part in the 40-year-old virgin, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he has a lot of presence to him.
He's very charismatic. He's a funny guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see one of your own break out. Like, some people are jealous and are haters, but, Kevin used to be my Madden buddy. We used to play John Madden all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, cuss each other out. But
And who's his team?
Philly, of course.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so I used to destroy him. But he has an older brother that's really good. But I'm getting off track here. But it's kind of cool to see somebody that reach the levels that he's reached. I mean, he sold out a football stadium. Now, some comedians might sit back and hate on him, like, man, he ain't that funny. How's it, or whatever it is. But you should celebrate that, because if he can do it, then somebody else can do it.
Well, you have a similar presence. I'm
very charismatic.
Well, I think it's good confidence that you have. You're articulate. You're smooth. It seems like you can roll with the punch. And
absolutely.
And Kevin Hart always seems like he's so animated. Yeah. I mean, and that's, I think, one of the attractions about him.
And I would say this: at the end of the day, I think what a lot of people forget, like, even if you have a message or something you want to say, you want people to come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
So when people pay their money to come see me, I want them to leave like, man, that was hilarious. I had a good time. And hopefully they might have learned something or saw a different perspective.
Yeah.
But entertainment and them having a good time is the most important thing.
That is really so. That's a great. And you have such a great attitude. I mean,
thank you.
Regardless, I mean, to me, you're already a success.
Appreciate that.
I think it's all about.
I wish my bank account would agree with you. But
yeah,
I'm doing okay though.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you get to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I could buy a round in here if like 20 people left.
Okay, well, let's make everyone out. No. So, does your routine change from night to night, or how does that work?
Yeah. If you come see me perform, you'll never see the same exact show twice. There might be variations of it.
Yeah.
Like, there might be bits and pieces that you've heard, but like I said, it's a live show. Like last night when I went on stage, some girl went, ew. So I just did 10 minutes on her saying, ew.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Like, who says that?
Who does say that these days?
I said, I just came up literally go, hey, I'm from L.A. She went, ew. I go, ew?
What?
Like, come on, ladies. You can't start off by saying, ew. That's the worst thing ever for a woman. A guy never wants to hear a woman say, ew.
Yeah, especially in certain situations.
Yeah, like, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Ew. Like, no, that's not what you want to hear.
Or the goodnight kiss.
Ew. Yeah, right. Exactly. Are you ready for this, baby? Ew. Like, that's not what you want to hear.
So you improvise a lot, right?
I improvise a lot. Especially like one time you go to this bar. I have a lot of female friends, and they'll go, hey, that one guy is looking at you. They go, where? Oh, ew. So it's like, that's not what you want to hear as a man. So she said that as soon as I said I was from L.A., so I just went on a tangent for like 10 minutes.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And do you have to get back on track, or you can change it up whatever you want to do?
It's whatever is in my heart, whatever I feel like doing. I look at the audience.
That's an amazing talent, right?
And I got a question for you.
Okay.
As an athlete, everybody always wants to test you out.
Yes.
As a comedian, do you have a lot of your friends, hey, Ruben, I got a good one for you.
Oh, my God.
Everybody wants to throw it at you, don't they?
They always do. And usually I don't mind if they're my friends because it's well thought out. But I had to stop telling people on airplanes that I'm a comedian, especially if the flight is more than an hour.
I bet.
So you'll be there like, so what do you do?
Yeah.
And I used to say when I first started, I'm a comedian. Oh, really? I got a joke.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my God.
So for the next 2 hours, they're giving you their
like
giving
literally,
you their
I'll be
stand-up.
asleep and go,
Can I be one too?
I'm sorry. When you wake up, I have a joke for you. Like, oh my God!
Wake up! Here's the joke.
That's funny.
Oh my, yeah. So now when people ask me what I do, I just say I'm a businessman, or
that's good,
or just make something up.
I think that makes sense because they will impose on you, right? And they'll say, where have you been, and what type of stuff do you do? And now
then there's the times like, I got a joke for you. Like, really? So this black guy, I'm like, stop. I don't need to hear that joke.
Oh, man.
This might end in a tragedy.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
So you're do you book up how far booked up are you right now?
I'm preparing to shoot a special in May or June.
Oh, wow.
We're shooting that. So I stay pretty busy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I work the road a lot, and I work a lot at home in L.A. because I'm working on a few writing projects also. So I kind of mix up my time between actually going out and being on the road and, being at home. So now that I'm working on this special, I'm going to be doing more dates like like I said, I'm in Vegas next week. Then I'm in Minnesota. I'm in Edmonton. Then I think I'm in Indianapolis. So I'm
a lot of travel.
Yeah, a lot of traveling. Yeah.
Do you enjoy the travel?
I enjoy the shows. I enjoy performing. But you understand, playing ball. It's like going to the airport, going through security, getting into the car, getting into the hotel, unpacking. It's a lot that goes into that. But once you get on stage, that's where I feel truly free and grateful that people would pay money to come see me. So that's why I would say, if you pay money to come see me, you're going to get my full effort. I'm not going to I don't know if I can say. Well, I'm not going to I'm not going to.
We all knew. Yeah, we all knew what you.
Halfway do anything.
Exactly. I like the way word.
I'm not going to halfway do anything, and that's what I think some people forget after a while. Yeah. Especially some of the famous guys. It's like, man, people are paying a lot of money to see you, man. You give them a show.
There's no doubt. Let me add, I think both you and Ed have something in common. You hear athletics, they're in the zone, and when that's where you want to be. It just happens. Yeah. I suspect it's the same. When you're up there on the stage, you're in the zone, right?
Yeah, you can be in the zone. I mean, there's nights you might feel a little off, like we talked before, but then there's some nights, man, where
timing is on.
It's nothing can go wrong, man.
Just
you
magical,
feel like,
right?
Yeah, you feel like, when Michael Jordan, when he played against, what was that, Portland in the championship, and he hit those threes, and he just shrugged his shoulders.
Like no
sometimes comedy-wise, you feel like that, and then, other guys are like, man, you are on fire tonight. It's like, dude, it was nothing. Every ad-lib destroys every new thought. And I'm the type of person, I like to trust myself. So if a thought comes to my head for the first time, I'll just go with it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a sense of energy and relaxation at the same time.
Want to hear a great story? So I was playing Barclays Arena with Russell Peters.
Yeah.
He sold out Barclays Arena, and I was his opening act.
Oh.
And right before I went on, this joke popped into my head. Just a new joke popped into my head. And I was like, you know what? I'm a open with this joke. I just said it to myself. In the level of nervous energy and anxiousness that goes through your body is like, it's awesome. And I came out and I opened with that joke, and the audience exploded, right? Man. Yeah. And then you're off and running. And in your mind, confidence-wise, going, man, I just came up with that and they're dying. Wait till they hear the stuff that I've worked on and prepared. So it just elevates your confidence, man.
Credit to you. Great confidence to be able to do that.
You got to take chances, man.
That's incredible. Wow. We're at going up against a hard break right now. However, tonight.
Yes.
And tomorrow. Get out to the House of Comedy on High Street.
Yeah, 2 shows a night, 7:30 and 9:45, and then tomorrow, 7 o'clock. So you have 3 chances left to see me.
Wow, you won't regret it. That's Ruben Paul. Very funny guy. And
thank you.
A great human being, too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much. Great to meet you guys, too, man. Come out to the show if you can.
That would be sort of cool. Yeah, we should do that. And we'll stay in touch with you. Maybe you have a card or something we can get. And I really appreciate you stopping by here at the Kona Grill, and it's just about 100 yards to the House of Comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
So get out there tonight, House of Comedy.
I say we go catch him in Vegas next time he's there too.
Oh yeah,
we keep talking about that Vegas. That's another reason to go.
Love to go to Vegas.
Support live comedy, everybody.
Yeah, that is very cool. Again, Ruben Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, we are here at Kona Grill on High Street, 5310 East High Street, and again, comedy, House of Comedy tonight, Ruben Paul, and tomorrow. And again, this is Breakthrough Sports live at Kona Grill, and we will be right back with another special guest. This is Entertainment Day for us.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back after these breaks.
Hey, this is Kurt Feldkeller, and you can join me every morning from 7 to 9 on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. Me and my buddy Kwame. We're unplugged.
Where am I? There I am. And welcome back again to Breakthrough Sports. We're live at Kona Grill at 5310 East High Street in Phoenix. A great place. Come on down. It's getting packed here. Wow, the football game's going on. And, of course, we just had Ruben Paul, great comedian, great guy, great person at the House of Comedy tonight and tomorrow. So you don't want to miss him. check out the House of Comedy on High Street. It's just probably about 100 yards from Kona Grill.
Dave could even walk there without getting tired.
Yeah, I could actually. I could probably run there halfway. Maybe halfway. And so
funny dude, though.
He was a nice
really
guy.
Funny dude, yeah.
You could tell I saw some of his clips. He is funny.
Okay.
He is very funny. No question about it. And we have another special guest, upcoming superstar, in my opinion. And we'll surprise everyone in a few minutes once she gets set up for some great original music. Is this exciting? And Greg, you could do the honors.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, Callie Young is joining us now. Local solo artist, singer, songwriter, and so she has done so many things around the valley. And then this coming weekend, she's going to be performing at NAMM, the big music in Anaheim. They have the convention once a year, so that's going to be fun all weekend getting to do that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Honestly, I went to NAMM for the first time last year. I went with this college prep program that I do, and I just networked with literally everyone that was there. And one of the company owners remembered me just from talking to him for maybe 2 or 3 minutes and giving him a business card. And he remembered me, and he's actually going to have me play at his booth. And one of the biggest deals as a musician is playing at NAMM. So I am so incredibly excited to be playing this year.
Wow. Nice credit for you, too, to be able to go there.
Yeah, even getting in is really difficult. So I'm, so stoked for this.
Wow. So we're ready to go on this?
Well, yeah. What we'll do here is going to perform 1, maybe 2 originals for us. And now she also plays guitar, among many instruments. So we're going to give this a try, and we'll see if we could hear that. And
I hear
we might more of just hear her voice in, but we'll see what we could do.
We'll see what's going on with that situation.
Yeah. Sometimes the with the speaker there and the equipment, it has a little bit of a feedback. Let's see here. So once you start going on the guitar, I'll check with our producer Kayla, see if she could hear the guitar. Let's see. Kayla, do you hear any guitar going? No guitar? Oh, okay. Let me see. I'll try this here. How about now?
Any guitar?
You do?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. So this is a song that I actually performed at the finals of Alice Cooper's Proof is in the Pudding competition. I'm a 2-year finalist, which is super exciting. It's really cool. I've met Alice a few times, and he's probably the most down-to-earth guy that I've ever met in my life. So that's where I get lots of my gigs and stuff. But anyway, I played this at finals. This is called Smoke. back his lungs lately. I know just where he's going. It's the same place that he's been. And oh my dear, what trouble stay, what trouble, oh my dear, what trouble we get in.
Wow, that was fantastic.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
I love. You know what's so cool is the vocal. The I don't even know what it's called. It's the range.
The range,
you have.
yeah.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Oh, I
It was
love that.
fantastic. And thank you, Ed, for the mic
Thanks
there.
for mic.
Improvisation.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you want to do one more or talk about now? Whatever.
Either are fine. I can do one. I can do half of another song if you want to get another taste of something else that I do. This is another one that I wrote. This one's called Compliments. This one's a little more upbeat. I also did this one at Proof, and that's what got me through to final. So. I can see in your caramel macchiato eyes, you're missing me at night. I started crawling back, it echoed through my mind, but my conscience wouldn't let Don't pass all your tests. Oh, you cold and oh, your love was better than the rest of mine. I don't need your compliments, your screamers I can whisper. I don't need her either. Go ahead and kiss her.
There
Nice.
we go. Good stuff there.
That is really good. Now,
Half of my song Compliments.
now, I don't think we said how old Kelly is. She's a young,
I'm
15.
15 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I'm like a toddler. It's interesting.
Well, I remember when you were a toddler.
Among the music industry, I am a toddler.
Oh,
which
I
is
know.
super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've had this passion for a long time.
Very long time. The first time I ever performed when I was like 10. I sang for the Diamondbacks, and it sucked. But like, I fell in love with performing. And
No, you were good. I was at that game.
like for like a 10-year-old, like that was okay. I was
You were really
so
good.
nervous, but
In fact, I helped. I gave you the ear.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did,
remember?
Actually. It was nerve wracking, and then to be told that like also by the way, this is in front of 32,000 people,
Yeah.
and we're going to be televising it. As 10-year-old me was already crying.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a mess, but I'm still doing national anthems. Actually, I have lots coming up for spring. Here.
Ooh, nice.
I'm super excited about them, and I'll be posting that on my social media and stuff.
Oh,
too.
yeah. That is cool. Those are good
Yeah,
songs.
those are-
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing voice.
Yes.
so much.
Very good.
Thank you.
It is, yeah. Not only her voice, but the fact of many talents. Well, as Dave said, the voice-wise was range, but
incredible.
piano, guitar, all that stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
To multitask at the same time like that, I don't know.
It's the only thing I can multitask at. I swear.
So events coming up, as you said, spring training, but then this coming weekend in Anaheim, you'll be performing at the NAMM convention.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be so fun. I am playing on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at NAMM, and it'll be at the Linear Integrated Systems booth. I'm going to be playing for about 45 minutes to an hour, and accompanying me will be the drummer of the Sink or Swim. His name is Louis Resnick. That'll be super fun. I'm so stoked to play at NAMM.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Also, there will be like giveaways at the booth that I'm performing at, and I'm going to be raffling the giveaways. So
nice.
That'll be fun.
That'll be cool. And Louie's great as well. And we hope maybe when you guys come back, also have Louie come on and do the drums. And that should be cool.
Yeah, he's incredible. Like the Sink or Swim, they're grossly talented. Probably like one of the best local bands that I've ever heard in my life. Mm-hmm. They're incredible. So.
Wow. Yeah, we should get them all together. And but it's everyone remember the name Callie Young. You're going to hear a lot of that name in the Stars of Success.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me on.
You're more than welcome.
I have every sort of social media. You can go stalk me on there for my upcoming events. And if you guys aren't bored or aren't busy tonight and you are bored, I'm going to be doing open mic at Sozo Coffee House in Chandler tonight.
Oh, really?
So I'm heading over there after this.
Oh, cool. And how do they get in touch with you? What's some of your social media deals?
Okay, I have every social media. So my Instagram is Callie Young Official. And if you go on my Instagram, there's a button that you can press called like promote or like contact or something like that. And that has all my other social media on there. And also my website, callieyoung.com, has that stuff. I have Twitter, Facebook, all of the above. Maybe I'll work on MySpace if that ever has a comeback.
I remember
MySpace.
that.
Well, I didn't even know that's still around.
I didn't know either.
I don't know. We should bring it back.
Right.
Yeah, we should. Callie, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Callie.
Very nice. Wow.
Continued success, too.
Thank you.
It's always neat, whether sports, I mean, the talent is talent, right?
Well, what's amazing is, to see someone that young with, taking advantage of the ability. So
it really is. It's a really exciting journey, no doubt. And you had that, and still do have an exciting journey.
Oh yeah, we're all on them.
Yeah. Wow, this has been quite a show so far. A lot of good stuff. And so let's see. So I'm not telling you to score, Ed.
It's too late. I've been watching.
You've been
watching. You have.
But here's the thing: because I'm recording it, I'm only going the first half here. Then I get to go home at my own leisure, then watch the second half.
Yeah.
So, it's not like I'm not,
Well, since you know the score, what is the score?
12-10.
Oh, okay.
Atlanta.
Falcons are up,
Close game, evidently. Yeah. And, wow, this should be a good finish. So you're going to have a nice time. What type of food are you going to eat tonight? I always like to know that.
I'm having some Chinese tonight.
Oh, really? What's your favorite?
Are you driving down the
Globe
I'm not going
or
whatever?
Down there. I got a flyer on my front door the other day for this Chinese place. I can't remember the name of it. That says they do authentic New York style Chinese food.
Really?
So that's my hope. It's right on. If it's good, I'm going to pass it to you. It's on Peoria and something. I can't remember, but if it's fits up to lives up to the billing,
I'll
let you know. Yeah. I've been searching for a good spot in the valley for a long time.
Wow. Yeah. There's ever hear of the Knee House?
No.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
That is good. Yeah, by Tatum and Thunderbird, I think, right? Or in that area?
Yeah.
Yeah, by good. PV Mall.
But I think Kona Grill is the place to be, actually.
Oh, yeah. We're sampling here right now.
Oh, yeah. What do you have there? It looks
it's a jambalaya.
Oh, I've heard of that, yeah. That looks delicious.
It's really tasty.
Greg has a mac and cheese, it looks like. And it looks like you got some sushi action.
Yeah, we got
there.
some sushi here.
Wow. Today. And I have, looks delicious. Look at this, what do you call it? Pepperoni. They're huge. They look like really huge. But anyway, so let's see. So, Seattle. I'm hoping Seattle wins. I'm sort of a Seattle fan. Oh, we didn't talk about Alabama Crimson. Alabama Clemson. I say Crimson as the Crimson Tide. But Clemson. That was a fantastic game.
That game, it started off kind of sloppy. It looked like Alabama was going to run away from them.
Yeah, it did.
And it got good right around the halfway point. And it was probably one of the best championship games I've ever seen. It was all the way down to the wire.
It sort of reminded me of the SC Texas A&M with Vince Young.
Yes.
And it looked like, they were going to.
My brother was there.
Win.
He was 3 rows up in the Alabama end zone.
Oh, my gosh.
He sent out some pictures before the game. And,
phenomenal.
I felt bad because they came up short. And, we're planning on having my nephew on next week. And, I can relate. I can relate to the loss, obviously losing a Super Bowl. It's hard. Those first few days and weeks after are not easy. So.
No, do you think he took it sort of tough?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to talk to him early next week.
Yeah, we'll see then.
And it's but the thing is, being a freshman, he's got a long way to go.
Oh man, he has such a career ahead of him.
Yeah,
right?
hopefully this will be the first of at least a couple to maybe 3 more shots at it. So
now Alabama has a tight end. Howard was his name.
He's projected as a first. Or
He's
second
a good.
rounder.
He did really well. That guy.
Yeah, he did the same thing last year in the win. He actually had 2 touchdowns in the win last year.
So he's projected as a first round.
First or second round.
He looked darn good. So just the fact your nephew made as a freshman Alabama team, that's got to be says something about your nephew.
Yeah, but that game was like it was one of the best finishes that I've ever seen. It came all the way down to the end. Yeah,
and I heard SC. Someone told me, I didn't confirm it yet, but their final rating was number 3. SC.
They might have been USC. Yeah.
Man, is that amazing?
Wow. Doesn't surprise me though. Like I said, the way they finished their season off, and then you look at Alabama got shut out. Washington got pummeled by Alabama.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But
Ohio State got shut up.
They are number 3. You checked it?
Oh no, I'm checking now. They are. Yeah, absolutely.
That's incredible.
Even with the 10-3 record, because of how great they really were.
Their quarterback. Describe the quarterback. Is he amazing? That guy?
I always say, he's a freshman. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, but he looked really, really good.
He looks solid. And
you know what else is amazing?
What?
This lobster mac and cheese.
Is that right?
It might be the best thing I've ever tried.
Really?
Is that right? Wow.
If you guys want to try it, it should be silver. It is amazing.
That's something for Greg to say that, too.
Yeah, that's...
is it that good, really?
It is that good. I really believe so.
Let's
go
see.
ahead and...
So what do I do? Just go like that?
Yeah. If you're able to get a piece of lobster, too, that even adds to the experience.
Oh.
It's just the way it's made.
That was good.
And it's like a perfect blend of cheese, but adding that lobster. If you like lobster, and
I like lobster.
Even if you don't, order the mac without it. But it
Where's
is amazing. Yeah,
that is good.
Wow.
I hope everybody doesn't mind me chewing in their ear right now.
No, that adds to the experience.
That is delicious. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah.
The cheese is sort of it's like a mild type of.
Yeah.
Not overwhelming.
Right. It's like a perfect mix. It starts with a G, I think, the type of cheese.
A G?
Well, let's see what we got in it.
Oh, is it Gouda?
Pasta, cheddar, Gouda.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Parmesan, panko, white truffle oil, which you could, experience the taste with. Wow. It is amazing. Oh, man. Well, everything is.
I think I'll here, turn away. I'll take that. No. Man, that's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about Kona Grill. I mean, the food is just the highest quality, but so tasty.
Yeah.
And you got to love that about a restaurant. I mean, every restaurant's different, but when you come here, you get great quality. And they're all friendly here, too. We love that.
Greg and myself, we're eyeballing that sushi as soon as, we got to get a little soy sauce over here somewhere.
Yeah. So let's make our predictions for Sunday's game. I don't think we did that yet. Green Bay, Dallas. Oh, yeah, we did pick Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then who's the other one? Miami.
No, you keep going Miami. It's Kansas City and Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, and we're going with Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, I am. You don't have to go with me.
No, I'm going to go Pittsburgh because you know what you're doing. I sort of like
package deal.
Yeah. I like Pittsburgh anyway, and then if those two win,
whoever wins will face more likely New England in the winner of this game here. So
we got some good football still going on.
I'm sad because we're toward the obviously we're toward the end of the season, but at the same time it's very exciting because I love the playoffs.
And it won't totally be ended because the Indoor Football League, more like the outdoor game.
There you go.
The Arizona Rattlers, what a story tale.
Get your fix on.
Franchise that is. So that's going to start in February. So that's right away.
We'll have to plan on going out to a game.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll get in there.
And they're playing at Talking Stick or?
Still playing there, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be there. And that should be very exciting to see how they do.
And Nick Davila's a coach now,
he's
right?
Assistant coach.
I was just getting ready to mention him, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk to him to see
I'll get him on.
That'd be great to talk to him and find out how the transition is going.
I'll try next week to get him on, actually, and see what he thinks as he's young enough still. And he was MVP in the league, and now he's a coach.
Yeah.
But he, like Coach Guy said last week, he could still play.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not as compatible to this type of league,
right?
He says, but let's say 2 quarterbacks go down. You got,
Yeah.
you still got the MVP guy, right?
Here comes the coach. Well, it's like in hockey, sometimes you need an emergency backup goaltender.
Yeah.
Well, with the Carolina Hurricanes, 2 weeks ago, I think it was their equipment manager. There was the backup, or one of Eddie Lack, I believe, got hurt. Didn't have time to call anyone up, so he puts on the pads, and it's just the backup. Well, with less than 10 seconds left, because the game was basically over, the coach put him in the game.
Is that right?
He could get his name on there. So he got,
cool.
And so it's amazing. Great feel-good story.
Yeah.
That really is.
That's
wow,
funny.
Can you believe the show is zipped by?
Yeah.
We had some really good guests today, of course.
This was probably one of the better or best shows we've ever done. This, for whatever reason, was just filled with so many different things.
Some variety,
elements,
And
I love this.
Yeah, we talked a lot of good football and
music
hockey.
at the end.
Music. Ruben Paul, House of Comedy tonight and tomorrow. Get out there, see him. He's very
hilarious,
funny guy.
yeah.
And, Ed and I, of course, you can go to Vegas, and we'll see him in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm looking
That's all
forward
we
to
need
that.
is an excuse. We're just adding up the total of excuses
Ruben's
we need to
here.
get to.
Yeah, we're going. Ruben's here. Yeah.
And he seems like such a down-to-earth guy. So nice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to love that. And evidently good friends with Kevin Hart. And, of course, he's...
that list of people he was running off.
A lot of
pretty
people.
Impressive,
He knows them.
And I'm pretty sure that's a tight-knit, circle of people. It's almost like, athletes, we tend to know each other. And in that way, in his world, the traveling they do shows together. So you can imagine, he's probably rubbed elbows with a lot of people that we would all recognize, which obviously ran off the list, and obviously we know a lot of those people.
I was going to ask him, and I didn't, but I could, talk to him later. But like Ben Stiller, if he did any, if he knows Ben and.
Well, I know he's done with his website, like Dane Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Another person we've had on the show, John Fugelsang. I know
good.
in the past he's done stuff with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That guy's cool, too.
Oh, yeah. He's hilarious. They're both great.
Wow, that is good stuff. And I wonder if he so many great comedians, and he seemed to know before his time, too, a lot of
well, he's
people.
probably, he's the crazy part is we can all say we knew him when he blows up, because it sounds like he's on a great path. So.
I think he's going to do it, and hopefully I can then start my acting career. What do you think? You think I have a shot?
Hey, we could all be extras somewhere, just sitting in a coffee shop, or we can actually just play ourselves doing a radio show.
That would be sort of cool, right? Excellent.
Get the camera out, and And
so,
Ed Smith as Ed Smith.
So
and
remember,
also starring Dave as Dave.
As Dave. House of Comedy tonight. Go see Ruben Paul. 2 shows tonight, 1 show tomorrow. You won't regret it. It's such a great place anyway. I've been there, House of Comedy. A great venue, no question about it. The owner, Rick Bronson, phenomenal guy. And, and then, of course, a lot of good hockey, football all weekend. This is your time of year, Ed Smith. And a lot of fun, of course, halfway through the season for hockey. That's a lot of fun, too. I'm waiting for the trade deadline to see what happens March 1st.
Always exciting.
Yeah, that will be all the anticipation, see what's going on there. And, again, thank you to Kona Grill, where we're doing the remote broadcast. Bob Thielen, great general manager. His assistant, Peter, nice guy, by the way. I met him, too. And this is getting pretty packed. A lot of people here. And Callie Young, thank you to Callie Young. Great singing, great upcoming star.
Oh, yes.
And thank you to Ed Smith.
Always a pleasure, Dave.
Always fun having you here. You are really good. I love your shirt. We can't say it on the air, but it's a lot of people are saying, "Hey, right on." Okay.
Yeah. You guys have to take a picture of each other.
We will.
Oh,
yeah.
We can
do
that.
I have to post this one for a couple of my hated Duke fans. Can't wear this one and not post it.
That is a cool. Yeah, that is cool. And, again, we're at Kona Grill. This is NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060, KDUS in Phoenix. And again, come down the House of Comedy, Kona Grill, have some fun, have some food. And this wraps up the show. Till next Saturday, everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.